Welcome to Sleep Science. Top 1, where science reveals what most of us were never taught to notice. This evening, we embark on a journey into the serene and unexpected realm of symbiosis, the science of cooperation. The narrative unfolds in the world around you, and even within, frequently overlooked, yet rich with significance. Symbiosis is not a side story of evolution. It is one of its main engines, and at times, complete transformation through the bonds it forms. Through symbiosis, survival becomes a shared effort rather than a solitary struggle, revealing how delicate alliances can create expansive networks and how the act of surviving can transform into a collective endeavor. As one navigates through this topic, it becomes evident that if cooperation were optional, evolution would have abandoned it long ago. In every forest, reef, field, and body, there exists a subtle hum of relationships that quietly shape the world. Some are timeless, some are ephemeral, and some challenge the very notion of where one existence concludes and another commences. Symbiosis serves as a reminder that survival often depends on cooperation. It is a narrative of cooperation that unfolds across the vast expanse of time. If these gentle journeys resonate with you, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing your thoughts below. It guides others to discover their path here as well, one drowsy spirit at a time. For the moment, all that is required of you is to find your comfort and relax. As you listen, allow your body to rest while your mind drifts gently. Allow your shoulders to relax. As we embark on this journey through this captivating world, let your thoughts take a moment to unwind. Let's begin. In a remarkable twist, adversaries can transform into allies through the power of symbiosis. At times, the most striking turn in the natural world is not found in a pursuit, but rather in a moment of peace. Symbiosis occurs when two distinct lives cease their individual pursuits and begin to tackle challenges collaboratively. A creature once feared can transform into a guardian. An outsider may transform into a vital presence. As time passes, these alliances have the power to transform physical forms, actions, and entire environments, as they create opportunities that mere rivalry cannot achieve. As one partner discovers sustenance, the other might extend a refuge. When danger is sensed, an escape may be offered by another. The consistent interaction opens up fresh possibilities, and these fresh possibilities pave the way for new destinies. One reason life can thrive in harsh deserts, deep oceans, and nutrient-poor soils is revealed. Symbiosis often reveals its harsh realities, seldom achieving a state of perfect equilibrium. Yet, it holds great power. It transforms survival into a collective endeavor, and this collective endeavor has the potential to guide evolution in unexpected ways. In the vibrant world of the reef, cleaner fish operate their clinics, diligently removing parasites from their larger clients. On a bustling reef, one can observe an unusual method of scheduling appointments. Larger fish draw near to a specific location, decelerate, and remain unnaturally motionless, occasionally even widening their mouths significantly. They are not in pursuit. Assistance is being sought. Cleaner fish, along with cleaner shrimp, approach like meticulous surgeons, delicately removing parasites, dead tissue, and bothersome debris from gills, skin, and teeth. The client experiences a sense of relief and improved health. The cleaner receives a consistent meal, acquired not through pursuit, but through reliance. The remarkable aspect of this situation lies in the remarkable restraint displayed. A famished predator could easily consume the cleaner in a single bite, yet the ritual frequently persists. In the vibrant underwater world, reefs establish distinct cleaning stations where various species gather, patiently waiting their turn for a thorough cleaning. It represents a tangible manifestation of collaboration, serving as a clear example that amidst a realm defined by ferocity and haste, there exist guidelines, responsibilities, and a form of unspoken decorum beneath the surface. the human body functions as a living ecosystem, influencing both digestion and immunity. One is not merely a solitary being, traversing the expanse of existence. You host entire biological communities. Within your body, nestled in your gut, on your skin, and throughout your airways, a myriad of microbes assist you in performing daily tasks that would otherwise prove challenging or even unfeasible. Some focus on dismantling fibers that your own enzymes struggle to process, transforming remnants into valuable nutrients. Some contribute to the creation of specific vitamins, while others generate molecules that soothe inflammation. In the background, the immune system learns to distinguish between signals of danger and those that are harmless, partly by coexisting with these constant guests. As the community transforms, one can sense the change within their own body. Your appetite, energy levels, and responses to infections might undergo transformations. This illustrates how a meal, a week filled with stress, or a round of antibiotics can create effects that appear disconnected from one another. It behaves like a living system, where its health is influenced by countless subtle relationships. Certain creatures appropriate photosynthesis, transforming algae into vibrant living solar panels. Envision a creature that possesses the remarkable ability to, in a sense, harness the essence of sunlight. In specific partnerships, an animal hosts algae within its body, akin to small roommates that contribute sugar as rent. The algae continue their age-old task of capturing light and producing food. Yet now, this nourishment sustains a creature that lacks the ability to photosynthesize independently. This has the potential to alter the way that animal endures periods of scarcity. It may still require sustenance, yet it possesses the ability to extend a meal's worth, akin to a lunchbox that gradually replenishes whenever sunlight graces it. The animal's behavior shifts as light transforms into a valuable resource to pursue, rather than merely a source of warmth. These connections are fragile. The host is tasked with the delicate balance of not consuming its guests, while the guests must adapt to their existence in an unfamiliar environment. However, when it succeeds, it resembles a phenomenon once thought impossible, unfolding quietly in tide pools and coastal shallows. A singular alliance has the potential to forge an entirely new type of being. There are instances in the tapestry of existence when two souls do not merely collaborate, they intertwine into a singular entity that acts as one. This is not a figure of speech. In the distant past, some cells absorbed others and, rather than annihilating them, chose to retain them. The guests transformed into steadfast aids, managing vital tasks within their host's domain. Through the passage of time, the bond deepened, leading the two to a point where separation became impossible. It transformed the capabilities of a cell, expanding its energy access and increasing its complexity. A merger of that nature can serve as a significant evolutionary shortcut. Instead of gradually creating a new skill from the ground up, a host acquires it by embracing an expert already designed for the role. One of the reasons complex life could emerge at all is that complexity requires energy and coordination. Symbiosis can serve as a ladder, and at times, that ladder integrates into the very essence of the being that ascends it. Coral reefs thrive as tiny algae generously provide their sugar to the coral. A coral reef may appear as if it is made of stone, yet it is constructed by vibrant living creatures whose existence is sustained by a remarkable internal collaboration. Numerous corals harbor tiny algae within their tissues. Within the vibrant, transparent waters, the algae harness the sunlight, transforming it into energy-rich sugars. A significant portion of that food is transferred to the coral, promoting its growth and assisting in the formation of the robust skeleton that constitutes the reef structure. The algae, in exchange, find a secure habitat and benefit from the coral's waste, transforming it into valuable resources. This explains the thriving nature of reefs in waters that are frequently low in nutrients. The partnership resembles the operation of a city governed by an unseen soma grid, yet it possesses a delicate sensitivity. Heat stress can strain the bond, and when the algae depart, the coral loses its vibrancy and a crucial source of nourishment. The essence of the reef's beauty lies in its delicate balance. Lichens represent a remarkable partnership of two life forms, intricately combined into a resilient team that shapes the world around them. On a stark rock face, where the wind howls and water ebbs and flows, one can observe lichens diligently performing the role of pioneers. A lichen does not exist as a solitary entity. It represents a collaboration, typically involving a fungus, alongside a photosynthetic companion like algae or cyanobacteria. The fungus constructs the framework, retaining moisture, adhering to surfaces, and protecting the inner layers from severe environments. The photosynthetic partner transforms light into nourishment, sustaining the entire ensemble. In unity, they find a way to thrive, where individually they could not prosper. As time passes, they contribute to the disintegration of rock, revealing the initial traces of soil, capturing dust, and enriching it with organic material. They possess the remarkable ability to endure extended periods of drought, only to awaken once more when the rains arrive. Lichens are methodical architects, crafting new environments gradually, 1 inch at a time. Upon witnessing them, one observes a collaboration forged into a resilient entity, capable of withstanding the harshest conditions, while subtly paving the path for lush forests and vibrant meadows. Plants have the ability to rely on bacteria residing in their root nodules to produce nitrogen. Nitrogen permeates the atmosphere, yet its presence in that form remains inaccessible to most plants. It feels as though one is encircled by a pantry that remains securely locked. Some plants address this challenge by forming partnerships with bacteria capable of unlocking it. Within the roots of legumes, specialized structures known as nodules emerge as secure havens for nitrogen-fixing bacteria. The plant provides essential sugars and a safeguarded habitat. The bacteria transform atmospheric nitrogen into forms that the plant can utilize to construct proteins and thrive. This has the potential to turn barren earth into a vibrant landscape filled with flourishing plants. The neighborhood undergoes a transformation, as some of that nitrogen eventually seeps into the surrounding soil, providing advantages to other plants that did not invest in the service. The partnership requires careful management. The plant, acting as a meticulous host, carefully regulates the conditions within the nodule to prevent an excess of oxygen from interfering with the delicate chemistry that the bacteria depend on. There exists a subtle exchange occurring just below the surface, shedding light on the significance of peas and beans in both ecosystems and agriculture throughout history. Some relationships transition from being beneficial to detrimental as circumstances evolve. A partnership in nature often unfolds in ways that transcend mere romance. Frequently, it is an arrangement that functions solely within specific guidelines. As circumstances shift, the equilibrium may falter, transforming a previously supportive ally into a source of strain. A microbe that resides harmlessly on a body surface can become problematic if it infiltrates another tissue. A plant ally that provides nutrients may require additional sugar during times of limited light, resulting in its host being deprived of energy. Even in the most stable of relationships, the presence of stress can heighten tensions and lead to conflict. Heat, drought, or a scarcity of food can transform collaboration into rivalry for the same finite resources. This is one reason biologists occasionally depict symbiosis as a continuum instead of a singular classification. It can shift among mutual advantage, unilateral advantage, and detriment. The unexpected truth lies not in the fragility of relationships, but in the remarkable strength that allows so many to endure. The natural world is in a state of perpetual negotiation, with symbiosis standing out as one of its most adaptable agreements. Symbiosis allows creatures to thrive in environments where neither partner could endure on their own. In the most extreme habitats on Earth, it is not the lone heroes who prevail, but rather the collaborative efforts of teams. In the depths of the ocean, where few may ever venture, certain creatures thrive by harboring bacteria capable of transforming chemicals from the seafloor into sustenance. The creature offers a secure habitat and a pathway to those essential substances. The bacteria engage in the process of constructing sugars and various nutrients, transforming a once inhospitable environment into a thriving pantry of life. This type of collaboration has the potential to foster entire ecosystems in shadowy realms, nurturing worms, clams, and various other beings that might otherwise face starvation. In various environments, collaboration plays a crucial role in sustaining life, especially in areas with challenging soil or harsh climates. One partner may be responsible for collecting water, while another harnesses energy, and yet another works to release essential nutrients. Symbiosis represents a harmonious blend of abilities among various species, akin to putting together a survival kit crafted from diverse expertise. It broadens the understanding of potential habitats for life, demonstrating that teamwork can hold equal strength to the ability to adapt. The distinction between a single organism and a multitude can become indistinct through the process of symbiosis. People tend to appreciate well-defined classifications: a single body, a singular creature, a unified name. Symbiosis resists the confines of simplicity. As partners share their lives over time, they weave their existence together so intricately that the idea of separation loses its significance, becoming an impossibility in their shared journey. Certain hosts develop unique structures solely to accommodate their companions. Some partners transition from one generation to the next, embedding themselves within a lineage akin to inherited traits. In such instances, the partnership starts to function as one cohesive entity, despite being composed of distinct individual components. This prompts a re-evaluation of individual identity. Is an animal defined solely by its own cells, or is it also shaped by the microbes that assist in its eating, defense, and normal development? The inquiry is not mere abstract speculation. It transforms our comprehension of health, evolution, and the very essence of identity within the realm of biology. Symbiosis implies that existence frequently resembles a harmonious ensemble rather than an individual performance, where the self embodies a diverse ecosystem beneath a single exterior. Clownfish find refuge within the embrace of anemones, who in turn provide nourishment and care. A sea anemone resembles a delicate, floating flower, yet it possesses stinging cells poised to immobilize its prey. Most fish maintain their distance, yet clownfish navigate effortlessly through the tentacles, as if the threat has been rendered insignificant. They accomplish this by donning a protective layer of mucus that aids in preventing the activation of the sting. Upon entering, the fish acquires a stronghold, a secure refuge amidst a community teeming with ravenous appetites. The anemone also reaps rewards. The fish drives away the nibbling intruders, nibbles off pieces of debris, and its waste contributes essential nutrients in the nutrient-poor waters. The clownfish's constant movement enhances the water flow around the anemone, resembling a gentle fan in action. A bond forged in trust and connection transforms a once weaponized creature into a place of warmth and safety. Oxpeckers remove ticks from large mammals, yet they occasionally cause wounds as well. Perched on the back of a buffalo or the flank of a rhino, an oxpecker appears as a charming little companion, energetically hopping about and snacking on ticks. That aspect is genuine. The bird serves to lessen the burden of biting parasites, while simultaneously functioning as an alert system, flapping and calling out when peril draws near. Yet this relationship possesses a more pronounced intensity. Oxpeckers occasionally consume blood by pecking at open sores, and they might hinder the healing of wounds, as a fresh wound serves as a dependable food source. The large mammal might accept the presence of the bird, or it could attempt to dislodge it, influenced by the day's shifting equilibrium. This narrative unfolds with an intricate balance, highlighting that collaborations often carry an underlying tension, reminding us that alliances are not solely based on altruism. At times, they linger in a delicate balance, oscillating between assistance and detriment, perpetually redefined on a vibrant, dynamic foundation. The goby fish and shrimp coexist within a burrow, equipped with a tactile alarm system that alerts them to potential dangers. Imagine a small shrimp laboring diligently beneath the surface, excavating a tunnel and casting aside grains of sand like a relentless worker in a mine. Imagine a shrimp with limited vision, laboring in an environment where danger lurks, ready to pounce at any moment. Enter the goby fish, a vigilant companion that lingers by the entrance like a guardian. The shrimp maintains one antenna in contact with the goby's body, ensuring a continuous connection through the sense of touch. When the goby perceives a threat, it flicks or darts away, prompting the shrimp to swiftly retreat and seal itself within the burrow. In exchange, the goby receives a secure sanctuary that it could never create by itself. The elegance lies in the distribution of tasks. One partner is an engineer, while the other serves as an alarm system. In their collaboration, they establish a stable foundation amidst an ever-changing environment, transforming a precarious stretch of sand into a common territory through their uncomplicated, tactile communication. In a remarkable symbiosis, ants stand guard over acacia trees, while the trees provide nourishment and shelter for their tiny protectors. Some acacia trees employ more than just thorns for their defense. An army is hired by them. Certain species offer ants hollow spines or swollen structures that serve as ready-made apartments, providing safety from the elements and numerous predators. The tree provides sustenance, featuring sweet nectar and nutrient-packed morsels that ants can transport as if they were provisions. In return, the ants tirelessly patrol the branches with unwavering vigor. They gather in numbers to confront leaf-eating insects, drive away browsers that attempt to nibble, and possess the ability to eliminate nearby plants that vie for light in their surroundings. This serves as a striking illustration of how a plant influences the behavior of animals. To address an issue that the plant is unable to resolve swiftly by itself, the tree remains rooted, unable to move. The ants possess the ability. When the system is robust, the acacia transforms into a fortified stronghold with its own living guardians, and the ants evolve beyond mere inhabitants. Their actions mirror the tree's behavior, embodying its defense in the moment. The relationship between fig trees and fig wasps is one of mutual dependence for reproduction. A fig transcends the mere definition of a fruit. Within a concealed garden, tiny flowers are encased in a hollow structure, creating a sense of introspection and wonder. The design presents a challenge, as pollination must occur in secrecy. The answer lies in a wasp, diminutive enough to slip through a tight space. The female fig wasp makes her entrance, frequently sacrificing her wings along the way as she pollinates the flowers inside, while seeking a suitable spot to deposit her eggs. The fig serves as both a nurturing environment and sustenance for the growing offspring. As new wasps emerge, they transport pollen to another fig, perpetuating the cycle. The collaboration is deeply connected and remarkably detailed, with numerous fig species associated with specific wasp partners. If one vanishes, the other might find it difficult to procreate. This is not a distant form of cooperation. It is a collaboration intricately woven into the very fabric of reproduction, a puzzling enigma unraveled by a singular, minuscule key. The yucca moths engage in a fascinating relationship with yuccas, pollinating them while their larvae consume a portion of the seeds. In numerous plants, pollination occurs as an unintentional gift from a visitor in pursuit of nectar. In yuccas, it may resemble a contract more closely. The yucca moths, with intention, collect pollen, shape it into a ball, and then journey to another flower, where they meticulously deposit the pollen onto the stigma. This intentional action guarantees the formation of the plant's seeds. However, the moth is not engaging in this act without compensation. Following the act of pollination, she deposits her eggs within the flower, and upon hatching, the larvae consume a part of the seeds that are in the process of developing. The plant loses some seeds, yet it still benefits because the moth's careful pollination makes seed production far more reliable than chance visits. As time passes, the plant possesses the ability to control the survival rate of larvae by aborting flowers that are excessively burdened, thereby preventing the moth from overindulging. It is a delicate equilibrium between generosity and protection, a collaboration where each party holds power and both must adhere to established limits. Leafcutter ants engage in a fascinating practice of farming fungus, nurturing it with leaves akin to compost. Leafcutter ants resemble miniature gardeners, parading with green flags held high, yet the leaves they carry are not meant for consumption. These are intended for agricultural purposes. Within the depths of underground chambers, a colony of ants diligently chews leaf fragments into a fine pulp, nurturing a unique fungus that they cultivate with care. Much like a farmer tending to their crops, the fungus decomposes the tough material, creating nourishing structures for the ants to consume, transforming resilient leaves into a palatable bounty. The colony transforms into a well-oiled agricultural machine, featuring diligent workers who cut, transport, and tend to the land. Some ants diligently eliminate contaminants, while others tirelessly remove waste, ensuring the garden thrives. Even disease management exists, as a fungal farm may face threats from invading molds, prompting ants to employ behaviors and chemical defenses to safeguard their crop. This is a form of agriculture that unfolds in the shadows, orchestrated by insects that lack a singular strategy, yet they manage to create a reliable source of nourishment through their shared efforts. It represents a harmonious coexistence, elevated to the level of a whole society. Termites depend on their gut partners to decompose resilient wood. A piece of wood may resemble food, yet for the majority of animals, it is akin to gnawing on a bookshelf. Primary element, cellulose, proves challenging to disassemble. Termites address this challenge not merely through the strength of their jaws, but by relying on a cohesive internal community. Within their intestines reside a variety of microbes, such as protozoa and bacteria, that are adept at breaking down cellulose and converting it into energy that can be utilized. The termite creates a cozy, consistent habitat while ensuring an unending source of processed wood. The microbes facilitate a process of digestion that the termite is unable to accomplish independently. In a fascinating display of cooperation, certain termites engage in social feeding, sharing their partners and ensuring that the essential microbes are passed on to the younger members, thus preserving the colony's digestive capabilities for future generations. This partnership illuminates the reasons behind the termites' remarkable ability to flourish on a seemingly sparse diet, as well as their significant contribution to ecosystems by decomposing fallen trees and replenishing nutrients in the soil. A termite may be small, yet its symbiotic stomach functions as a remarkable recycling plant. Ruminants rely on microbes to transform grass into energy that they can utilize. A cow in a pasture may appear tranquil and unhurried, yet within, it operates as a bustling fermentation chamber. Ruminants, such as cows, sheep, and deer, possess a unique stomach known as the rumen, where microbes facilitate the digestion of plant fibers that the animal struggles to break down on its own. Grasses and leaves undergo fermentation by bacteria and other microorganisms, resulting in the production of fatty acids that serve as a primary energy source for the animal. The creature, in its own way, offers a cozy, damp sanctuary, along with a continuous supply of vibrant plant life. This explains how ruminants can flourish on diets that would leave numerous other animals unsatisfied. The renowned act of chewing cud is integral to the system, allowing the animal to repeatedly grind plant matter, thereby providing microbes with increased surface area to operate on. A collaboration transforms sunlight, harnessed by grass, into strength, nourishment, and vitality. Observing a grazing herd reveals a profound connection that unfolds across vast landscapes. In a remarkable display of cooperation, vampire bats engage in the sharing of blood meals, creating a social safety net that ensures their survival. The world of a vampire bat operates on a precarious timetable, where the significance of a single missed meal cannot be underestimated. While blood offers nourishment, obtaining it consistently, night after night, proves to be a challenge, and the hunt may not always be successful. In certain colonies, that peril is mitigated by a kindness that resembles a modest welfare system. A bat that has feasted may later share a part of its meal with a hungry companion in the roost. This is not mere charity. It frequently occurs among individuals who have nurtured one another, shared their environments, and cultivated trust throughout their relationship. In other terms, connections transform into a type of safeguard. It is remarkable to consider an animal exchanging calories for companionship, yet it becomes clear when the threat of hunger looms for the next day. The roost transforms into something greater than mere shelter. It transforms into a web where the essence of survival is collectively embraced, and the strength of collaboration holds as much significance as the fiercest of fangs. Certain aphids harbor bacteria that produce vital amino acids. An aphid survives on plant sap, which may seem like a never-ending source of sweetness. Yet this sap lacks essential building blocks. In the absence of those essential nutrients, the processes of growth and reproduction would come to a standstill. The answer lies concealed within the very essence of the aphid itself. Numerous aphids host specialized bacteria within dedicated cells, resembling miniature internal workshops. These bacteria generate vital amino acids that the aphid is unable to obtain solely from sap. The bacteria, in exchange, find a secure habitat, along with a continuous supply of essential resources. Over time, the partnership can become so intertwined that the bacteria lose their ability to exist on their own, much like artisans who have forgotten how to step away from the workshop. Even more striking, aphids can pass these helpers from mother to offspring, ensuring that the next generation arrives with its nutritional team already established. A creature no larger than a grain of rice transforms into a meticulously orchestrated partnership designed to fulfill a diet that would otherwise lack essential components. Deep sea tube worms are home to bacteria that produce food from chemicals. Deep beneath the shimmering surface of the ocean, there exist realms where the seafloor exudes energy in a surprising manner, manifesting not as light, but as chemistry. In the depths surrounding hydrothermal vents, giant tube worms thrive in dense clusters, despite lacking a clear method of nourishment. Their hidden truth lies in the fact that the true nourishment is created within them. These worms are home to bacteria that utilize chemicals such as hydrogen sulfide to create sugars, a process known as chemosynthesis. The worm provides the bacteria with a consistent delivery mechanism, encompassing oxygen and the vent chemicals, facilitated by a unique blood chemistry. The bacteria, in response, nourish the worm from the inside. It resembles a living greenhouse, where the worm employs volcanic chemistry in place of sunlight. In the depths, where shadows linger eternally, this alliance forges magnificent life from what appears to be toxic, illustrating that the origins of food webs can emerge through various paths. Hydrothermal vent ecosystems thrive on symbiosis, existing independently of sunlight. When envisioning an ecosystem, one might conjure images of lush green plants basking in the sunlight. At hydrothermal vents, the narrative shifts. In this setting, the groundwork is established by microbes that harness chemical energy as a source of power, transforming it into sustenance. Numerous larger animals thrive alongside these microbes through intimate relationships, occasionally residing within their bodies, other times adorning surfaces like a vibrant layer of living paint. This explains how vents can nurture vibrant communities in the depths of the ocean, where crabs, snails, and clams congregate around what appears to be a smoky underwater chimney. The water may reach high temperatures, the chemicals might be severe, and the surroundings can shift rapidly. Nevertheless, the collaboration renders it feasible. The microbes function as skilled chefs, transforming raw chemical ingredients into exquisite meals. The animals function as both habitats and transport mechanisms, ensuring that the appropriate compounds reach their designated locations. It serves as a reminder that sunlight is not the sole force driving life, and that through collaboration, one can create a sanctuary even in the depths of eternal darkness. Giant clams play host to algae, transforming their bodies into vibrant food factories. A giant clam rests in the clear tropical water, its shell slightly ajar, revealing a rippling mantle that appears almost electric in hue. That vibrant display serves a purpose beyond mere decoration. Within the tissues of the clam reside tiny algae that harness sunlight to produce sugars. The clam positions itself like a living solar collector, providing its algae with light and a consistent supply of waste nutrients for the algae's use. In exchange, the clam acquires nutrient-dense sustenance that enables it to thrive and flourish in environments where available nutrients are limited. Some giant clams can grow to impressive sizes, yet they stay firmly rooted in their locations, drawing strength in part from their internal companions. The hues observed are influenced by the clam's tissues and their interaction with light, resembling a natural greenhouse structure. The partnership unfolds quietly, yet its impact is profound, transforming a once stationary creature into a vibrant, sun-powered source of nourishment, while imbuing the reef with an essence of vitality, as if it harbors living energy within its very stones. The bobtail squid employs luminous bacteria to blend seamlessly with the moonlit surroundings. As night falls, a bobtail squid transforms into a master of illusion. From below, predators can discern a silhouette outlined by the subtle glow of moonlight cascading down. The squid addresses this challenge by illuminating its underside, not through its own cells, but by utilizing resident bacteria that inhabit a specialized light organ. This technique is known as counter-illumination, functioning by aligning the brightness of the background to make the squid's shadow disappear. The bacteria find a secure, nutrient-dense environment. The squid acquires the ability to move unseen. The squid's ability to manipulate light is truly captivating, as it adapts to its surroundings, much like a dimmer switch, finely attuned to the ocean's depths. During the day, it frequently conceals itself beneath the sand. At night, it glides with a gentle, luminous beacon that aids in its vanishing rather than revealing its presence. It is a symbiotic relationship, donned as a disguise, transforming survival into an almost theatrical experience, played out in the serene blue darkness. The Hawaiian bobtail squid tends to its light-producing bacteria with great care each night. This partnership requires ongoing attention and engagement. A young squid embarks on a quest to collect the appropriate bacteria from the seawater, and once the colony is formed, the squid oversees it with remarkable discipline. Every day, a significant amount of bacteria is released from its light organ, returning them to the ocean. As night falls once more, the surviving bacteria begin to multiply, restoring the glow that serves as their evening disguise. This daily cycle maintains the vitality and dynamism of the bacterial community, while simultaneously populating the environment with the same bacteria, thereby enhancing the likelihood that the next generation of squid will encounter them. Within the light organ, the squid offers nourishment and a beautifully crafted environment that enhances the luminous efforts of the bacteria. In exchange, the squid acquires a dependable shield against predators lurking in the moonlight. Each night, there is a careful nurturing of an inner garden, where the act of trimming and the promise of renewal ensure that the light remains unwavering. The notion that an animal can cultivate microbes, akin to a crop on a daily basis, imbues symbiosis with a sense of intentionality, transforming it from mere nature into a carefully orchestrated relationship. Bioluminescent fish frequently cultivate bacteria within unique light organs. In the vast expanse of the ocean, illumination holds significance comparable to that of teeth. Certain fish navigate the depths of darkness by harboring glowing bacteria within specialized pockets of tissue, crafted specifically for this purpose. These light organs are not mere random cavities. Reflectors can be utilized to guide the glow. Shutters concealed it, and lenses molded it, akin to living flashlights, integrated within the form. The bacteria excel in their natural role, generating light through their chemical processes, while the fish provides sustenance and safety. The fish subsequently employs that glow in various manners, influenced by its way of life. Some draw inquisitive targets nearer. Some engage in communication with their own kind within the depths of the black water. Some disrupt their outline, making it difficult for predators to assess distance. The partnership is so intertwined that the fish transforms into a dynamic platform for bacterial light, while the bacteria seamlessly integrate into the fish's behavior. It serves as a reminder that symbiosis extends beyond mere nutrition. It may revolve around themes of knowledge, manipulation, and the mastery of shadows. Certain insects harbor microbes that render them unpalatable to their predators. For a tiny insect, the threat of being consumed can arise in an instant, necessitating an immediate response for survival. In certain species, the means of defense arises from unseen companions residing within their bodies. These microbes assist in the production of chemicals that render the insect unpalatable or even slightly toxic, deterring birds and other predators from attempting a second bite. It is an unusual form of borrowed protection. The insect serves as a reliable abode and means of transport, ferrying the microbes along its journey. The microbes offer a protective chemical barrier that the insect may struggle to produce on its own. As time progresses, this can also influence the behavior of predators. A bird that encounters a negative experience may become wary of that particular insect, ultimately enhancing the survival prospects of the entire population. In a way, the microbes shape not just chemistry, but also the memories within another creature's mind. That is an extraordinary extent for something so minuscule. In this scenario, symbiosis transforms into a lesson conveyed through experience, where a simple snack evolves into a decision fraught with regret. Some beetles rely on microbes for the digestion of woody plant materials. Wood is crafted to withstand harm. It possesses a fibrous structure, densely filled with resilient compounds, crafted to withstand the elements and the passage of time. Yet some beetles possess larvae that burrow through wood with the ease of slicing through soft bread. The truth lies not solely in powerful jaws, but in a robust internal support system. The microbes residing in the beetle's gut play a crucial role in breaking down tough plant materials into smaller, more manageable components, thereby releasing energy that would otherwise be lost. This enables larvae to thrive in environments where competition is minimal, as numerous animals struggle to utilize wood effectively. The beetle's role in the ecosystem may also be influenced, as it accelerates the decomposition of fallen branches and dead trees. In certain instances, beetles transport their beneficial microbes across generations, guaranteeing that the appropriate digestive companions are perpetually available. Upon observing a small hole in a log, one witnesses the result of an unseen partnership, where microorganisms perform the chemical tasks, while the beetle takes on the role of the sculptor. Parasitoid wasps employ viruses to neutralize the immune defenses of their hosts. A tiny parasitoid wasp orchestrates one of nature's most unsettling heists. When a female lays an egg inside a caterpillar or another insect, the host's immune system is expected to respond by attacking the intruder. Yet in numerous species, that defense is subtly undermined. The wasp not only deposits an egg, but also introduces biological mechanisms that bewilder or inhibit the host's immune response. In certain instances, these mechanisms encompass viruses that function like microscopic shields. Rather than inducing a typical illness, the virus transforms the host's internal regulations, enabling the wasp larva to thrive and grow. The host continues to feed and expand, oblivious to the fact that it is nurturing the very force that will ultimately lead to its own demise. It is bleak, yet remarkably accurate. This narrative unfolds with a sense of intrigue, as a virus, a wasp, and an unsuspecting host become entwined in a complex interaction that resembles a covert operation at the level of insects. Certain plants attract protective insects by offering them sweet nectar as a reward. A plant is unable to flee from peril. It may not be able to swat away a hungry mouth or drive off a leafcutter, yet it possesses the ability to enlist assistance. Numerous plants provide sweet nectar outside their blossoms, not for the sake of pollination, but as a form of payment to the insects that guard them. Ants and other guardians traverse the stems and leaves, lured by these simple rewards. As a herbivore approaches, the guards spring into action, employing bites, stings, or becoming such an annoyance that the intruder is compelled to retreat. The plant is, in essence, acquiring safety through sweetness. This can establish a dynamic, protective barrier that is significantly more adaptable than thorns by themselves. The intriguing aspect lies in the economics. A modest expenditure of nectar can avert a significant depletion of leaf tissue. In certain situations, the plant has the ability to modify its offerings in response to emerging damage, enhancing its payment as the level of threat escalates. In a tranquil marketplace, energy transforms into currency, while protection evolves into a service. Mycorrhizal fungi extend the roots of plants, engaging in a reciprocal exchange of minerals for sugars. Underneath the forest floor, the roots collaborate in harmony. Numerous plants engage in a partnership with fungi that envelop or penetrate their roots, creating a dynamic connection between the soil and the plant. The fungal threads are far thinner than roots, and they can slip into tiny pores in the ground the roots cannot reach. In their gathering, they collect limited resources such as phosphorus and various minerals, along with occasional water, before transferring them into the plant. In exchange, the plant delivers sugars made in its leaves, feeding the fungus with the energy of sunlight. This trade can dramatically change a plant's chances, especially in poor soils. The environment can influence which plants flourish in specific areas, as various fungi are adapted to distinct conditions. The partnership is so common that many landscapes depend on it without anyone noticing. When you see a tree standing tall, it is not just a trunk and leaves. It is also an underground collaboration, where fungi act like an expanded root system that the plant could never grow on its own. Fungal networks can connect many plants, moving carbon and signals. Imagine a neighborhood where households can pass resources through shared wiring beneath the ground. In many ecosystems, fungal threads weave through soil and link the roots of multiple plants, creating networks that can move materials from one place to another. Carbon carried in plant sugars can flow into the network, and sometimes onward to other plants, including seedlings shaded by taller neighbors. The network can also carry chemical messages. When one plant is attacked by insects, signals can spread through the fungal web, and nearby plants may shift their defenses in response. This does not make the network a conscious brain, but it does make it a powerful communication and transport system. The fungus benefits because it gains access to multiple sugar sources. The plants benefit because they gain reach, awareness, and sometimes support. It is easy to walk through a forest and think the trees are separate. Underground, many are linked by living threads that turn the soil into a kind of shared infrastructure, quietly coordinating life above. Orchids can't sprout without fungi feeding their tiny seeds. Orchid seeds are astonishingly small, more like dust than the kind of seed you can hold between your fingers. That tiny size helps them travel on the wind, sometimes over long distances, but it comes with a cost. Many orchid seeds carry almost no stored food, which means they cannot easily power the first steps of growth on their own. Their solution is a fungal partner. In the soil, certain fungi can enter the germinating seed and provide sugars and nutrients, essentially feeding the orchid during its most vulnerable stage. Only then can the seedling begin building the structures it needs to survive. This makes orchid life feel like a secret handshake. The seed can land in the right place, with the right moisture, and still fail if the right fungal partner is absent. It also adds wonder to every blooming orchid you see. Each one began as a near weightless speck, that needed an unseen helper to wake up and become a plant. Some pines need fungal partners to colonize new soils. When a pine seedling tries to establish itself on raw, disturbed, or nutrient-poor ground, it faces a brutal challenge. The soil may hold little phosphorus or nitrogen, and water may be hard to capture. Many pines meet this challenge by forming close relationships with fungi that sheath their roots and extend far into the surrounding soil. These fungal partners can act like scouts, exploring wide areas for nutrients and moisture, then delivering them back to the young tree. In return, the pine provides sugars, turning sunlight into the fuel that powers fungal growth. This alliance can be the difference between a seedling that withers and one that anchors a future forest. It also helps explain why certain trees can spread into harsh environments after fires, landslides, or glacial retreat. The pine does not conquer new land alone. It arrives with the potential for partnership. And when the right fungal allies are present, the soil becomes less of a barrier and more of a foundation. Seaweed and fungi can form marine lichens on rocky coasts. On wave-battered shores, life has to endure drying winds, salt spray, and sudden soaking. In some of these harsh coastal zones, partnerships appear that resemble lichens, but with a marine twist. Certain fungi can team up with photosynthetic partners that live in or near the sea, including seaweeds or other algae, forming crusty, resilient communities on rocks. The fungus provides structure and protection, helping hold moisture and shield the photosynthetic partner from extremes. The photosynthetic partner captures light and supplies energy, feeding the whole unit. Together, they can occupy places that are too exposed for many organisms to handle, right at the boundary between land and sea. This is symbiosis, as coastal engineering, turning bare stone into living surface. It also reminds us that partnerships are not limited to forests and fields. Even in the spray zone, where conditions swing from salt water to sun-baked dryness, life finds ways to cooperate and persist. Lichens can pioneer bare rock, slowly helping build soil. When fresh rock is exposed by a retreating glacier or a landslide, it can look like a lifeless beginning. Yet lichens often arrive early, clinging to the surface like patient settlers. They do not need deep soil because they can draw moisture from rain and air, and they can survive long dry spells by going dormant. Over time, they help break down the rock itself. Their growth can wedge into tiny cracks, and the chemistry of their bodies can slowly loosen minerals from stone. As lichens die and regrow, they add organic material, trapping dust and forming the first thin layer that other life can use. This is slow work, measured in years and decades, but it is foundational. Lichens turn rock into possibility. They are not loud or fast, yet they change landscapes by creating the first foothold for mosses, grasses, and eventually larger plants. Symbiosis here becomes the opening act of an ecosystem, writing the first line to the story that will later include forests and animals. Cyanobacteria in lichens can fix nitrogen for the whole partnership. Some lichens include a third player that brings a special skill. Cyanobacteria can take nitrogen gas from the air and convert it into usable forms, a process called nitrogen fixation. For the lichen, this is like gaining access to a nutrient that is abundant but locked away. In environments where soil is thin or nutrients are scarce, that ability can be acquired superpower. The cyanobacteria receive shelter and a stable home within the lichen structure. The fungal partner provides protection and moisture control. The photosynthetic work is shared, and the fixed nitrogen supports growth. This teamwork can enrich the surrounding environment too, because nitrogen added by lichens can eventually enter the soil and support nearby plants. It is remarkable to think that on a bare rock or a tree branch, a tiny community is pulling essential nutrients from the air and turning them into living matter. The lichen becomes a miniature factory running on light, air, and cooperation. Some salamanders host algae inside their tissues during development. There is a salamander whose early life can include a surprising guest, In some cases, green algae can live within the egg capsules and even within the tissues of developing embryos. This creates an intimate exchange. The algae can produce oxygen and sugars in the light, and those products may benefit the growing salamander. Meanwhile, the salamander's waste products can provide nutrients the algae can use. It is a delicate arrangement because the embryo is forming organs and immune defenses, yet it is also sharing space with another living thing. The idea of a vertebrate, even briefly, hosting photosynthetic partners feels almost like a crossover between pond life and plant life. It also hints at how flexible symbiosis can be. Partnerships do not always happen on skin or in guts. Sometimes they appear in the earliest chapters of life, inside an egg, where development and collaboration unfold together. It is a quiet, green mystery in still water, turning a nursery into a shared habitat. The algae living in coral are called zooxanthellae, and they can leave. Inside the tissues of many corals live tiny algae called zooxanthellae, and they are far more than passengers. They are partners that help power a reef. The coral offers a protected home and steady access to raw materials like carbon dioxide and waste nutrients. The algae use sunlight to make energy-rich compounds, and much of that energy can flow back to the coral, helping it grow and build reef structure. But this relationship is not guaranteed. When conditions become stressful, the algae can be expelled or can abandon the coral, and the coral suddenly loses a major source of fuel. It is like a city losing its power grid overnight. What makes this so haunting is how fast it can happen compared to how long reefs take to build. A coral colony can take years to grow, yet its partnership can unravel in days or weeks if the environment shifts beyond its comfort zone. Coral bleaching happens when stressed corals lose their algae partners. When a coral loses its resident algae, the change is visible even to a casual snorkeler. The coral turns pale because much of its color came from those microscopic partners. What remains is the coral's own tissue stretched over a bright white skeleton, so the reef looks ghostly, as if the color has been drained away. Bleaching is not always immediate death, but it is a serious crisis. Without the algae's constant energy supply, the coral must rely more heavily on capturing food from the water, which may not be enough to cover its needs. Prolonged stress can lead to starvation, disease, and die-off, especially when multiple stressors stack together. The heartbreaking part is that reefs are living architectures supporting thousands of species, yet their stability depends on a partnership that is sensitive to changes in temperature, light, and water quality. Bleaching is a visual signal of symbiosis breaking under pressure, and it shows how a tiny relationship can determine the fate of an entire seascape. Reefs can sometimes recover by partnering with more heat-tolerant algae. Not all algae partners are the same, and that variation can become a lifeline. After a bleaching event, some corals can form new partnerships with different strains of symbiotic algae that handle warmer conditions better. This does not mean the coral is instantly safe, because heat-tolerant partners may provide less energy in cooler times, or the coral may grow differently with a new tenant. Still, the ability to switch partners can act like a form of biological adaptation, allowing some reefs a chance to rebound when the environment changes. It is as if the coral is searching for a new power source that can keep working in a hotter world. Recovery often depends on timing and local conditions. If stress eases quickly and a suitable algae community is available in the water, corals may regain color and energy. When that happens, it is a reminder that symbiosis is not only fragile, it can also be flexible, and flexibility can be survival. Humans use fermentation, a microbial partnership, to make bread and yogurt. Long before anyone could see microbes, humans learned to work with them. Fermentation is a kind of domesticated symbiosis, where we offer microbes a home and food, and they transform it into something new. In bread, yeast eats sugars and releases carbon dioxide, and those bubbles become the airy structure we love. In yogurt, bacteria reshape milk, producing acids that thicken it and create that tangy flavor. What feels almost magical is that these transformations are not just convenient, They can make foods easier to digest, change how long they last, and create textures that our own cooking alone cannot easily mimic. You can think of fermentation as a conversation between human intention and microbial metabolism. We control temperature, time, and ingredients. The microbes do chemistry at a level we cannot do by hand. The result is a partnership that has fed families for thousands of years, turning simple staples into foods with personality, comfort, and history. Cheese flavor comes from communities of microbes working in succession. A wheel of cheese is not a single recipe frozen in time. It is a living process, guided by shifting microbial cast members. Early on, certain bacteria convert milk sugars into acids, setting the stage for curds to form and for the environment inside the cheese to change. Later, different microbes take over, breaking down proteins and fats into a cascade of new molecules that create aroma and flavor. This is why cheese can taste nutty, earthy, fruity, or sharp, even when it begins as the same basic ingredient. Some cheeses rely on surface communities that bloom on the rind, creating a protective layer and a distinct fragrance. Others develop internal cultures that ripen from the inside out. The most fascinating part is that timing matters. One group's leftovers become another group's feast. It is microbial teamwork, arranged like a relay race, where each runner changes the landscape for the next. When you taste a complex cheese, you are tasting an ecosystem's history. Sourdough starters are stable ecosystems you can keep alive for years. A sourdough starter is a jar of flour and water that becomes, over time, a stable little world. Wild yeasts and bacteria settle in and form a community that can persist as long as it is fed. The microbes compete and cooperate, shaping the starter's smell, bubbles, and sourness. Each feeding is like renewing a habitat. Fresh flour brings new sugars. The existing community responds, growing, releasing gases, and acidifying the mixture in a way that discourages many unwanted microbes. This is why a healthy starter can be surprisingly resilient. It is also why different starters can develop distinctive personalities, depending on local conditions, flour type, and routine. Some families keep starters for years, even passing them down like heirlooms. That is not just sentiment. It is continuity of a living microbial culture that influences flavor and texture in every loaf. With sourdough, you are not just baking bread. You are caretaking an ecosystem that rewards patience. Kombucha cultures are mixed symbioses of yeast and bacteria. Kombucha begins with sweetened tea, and then a culture goes to work. Yeasts and bacteria share the job in a coordinated dance. The yeast breaks down sugars and produces compounds that the bacteria can use. The bacteria, in turn, create acids that give kombucha its bright tang and help protect the brew from spoilage. Over time, the bacteria also build a floating cellulose mat, often called a SCOBY, which is both a product of the microbes and a home for them. It is like a living raft that holds the community together. What makes this fascinating is how the flavor changes as the balance shifts. More time can mean more acidity. Temperature can change which microbes thrive. Small differences in process lead to noticeably different results, like tuning an instrument. Kombucha is symbiosis you can taste. It is a reminder that microbes are not only helpers inside bodies and forests, they can also be partners in a kitchen, turning a simple drink into a living, evolving craft. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria help legumes enrich soil for other plants. When legumes partner with nitrogen-fixing bacteria, the benefit does not stop with the host plant. Nitrogen is a key ingredient for growth, and many ecosystems are limited by how much usable nitrogen is available. In a legume's root nodules, bacteria convert nitrogen gas into forms the plant can use, helping the legume thrive, even in poorer soil. Over time, some of that nitrogen enters the surrounding ground through root turnover, leaf litter, and decomposition. This can improve fertility for nearby plants that never form nodules themselves. It is one reason legumes are often used in crop rotations and soil restoration, because they can help recharge the nutrient bank naturally. The beautiful part is that this is community-level symbiosis. One partnership can change the chemistry of an entire patch of land. It is like installing a slow, steady nutrient pump beneath the surface. And once the soil improves, the whole plant community can shift, inviting new species and supporting more life than before. Some grasses harbor fungi that make the grass less appetizing. In a grassy field, you might assume plants stand alone against hungry mouths. But some grasses have quiet allies, living inside their tissues, fungi called endophytes. These fungi can produce compounds that make the grass taste bitter or cause discomfort to insects and other herbivores. The grass gains protection, suffering less damage and holding on to more leaf area for photosynthesis. The fungus gains a home and a reliable supply of nutrients from the plant. Unlike many partnerships that are visible, this one is hidden within the blades themselves, like a built-in security system. It can influence which grasses dominate a pasture, because protected grasses may survive grazing pressure better than unprotected neighbors. It can also shape insect populations, nudging the balance of the ecosystem. The idea is simple, but powerful. Instead of growing spines or thick armor, a grass can outsource chemical defense to a resident partner. Symbiosis becomes stealthy protection, woven into green tissue that looks ordinary to the eye. Those fungal bodyguards can also harm grazing animals in large doses. A defense that discourages herbivores can sometimes spill over into unintended complications. The same endophytic fungi that help grasses resist insects can produce compounds that, in high enough amounts, are harmful to grazing animals. Livestock may eat the grass as usual, unaware that the plant's internal chemistry has changed. Over time, the effects can include reduced weight gain, heat stress, or other health problems, depending on the specific compounds and conditions. This creates a complicated story. The alliance proves advantageous for both the grass and the fungus, as it diminishes the risk of predation and safeguards their common environment. However, for a grazing animal, what seems to be a nutritious meal can unexpectedly become a source of danger. In agriculture, this implies that farmers need to focus not just on the grass species, but also on the unseen allies that coexist with it. This serves as an excellent illustration of how the interplay between different elements can influence both ecosystems and economies simultaneously. A tiny inhabitant can sway the dietary choices of a herd, serving as a reminder that beneficial connections do not always benefit everyone equally. The Wolbachia bacteria have the remarkable ability to transform the reproductive processes of insects in extraordinary manners. Within the concealed realm of insects, Wolbachia operates with the finesse of a puppeteer. These bacteria reside within cells and are transmitted from mother to offspring. Thus, their future hinges on the production of more infected females. To shift the balance, they can manipulate reproduction in ways that seem nearly unimaginable. In certain hosts, embryos of one sex are led to failure. In certain instances, they can influence reproduction in ways that enhance the bacteria's own proliferation. The outcome reveals that a tiny traveler can subtly alter the lineage of an insect's family tree. This holds significance that transcends mere curiosity. As reproduction shifts, entire populations undergo transformation, creating ripples throughout ecosystems. It serves as a reminder that evolution is influenced not just by predators, food, and climate, but also by unseen allies pursuing their own interests. Wolbachia illustrates how symbiosis can be profoundly interconnected, influencing the very mechanisms of inheritance and transforming reproduction into a conflict of competing interests. Certain symbionts lead to a higher production of females compared to males in insects. In numerous species, the equilibrium between males and females functions much like a biological thermostat, maintained at a level of near equality. Yet, certain symbionts possess the ability to subtly influence that equilibrium. This creature is known as an endodial, As these microbes are frequently transmitted through eggs, they benefit significantly by promoting the birth of more daughters who can continue to propagate them. Various methods can be employed to accomplish this, contingent upon the host. At times, male embryos may not endure. At times, the course of development shifts to promote outcomes that benefit women. The unexpected aspect is that the insect is not making this choice with awareness. It may unfold quietly over the years, leading to a population that is predominantly female. The bat has the ability to alter its mating patterns, influence competition, and determine which genes may become prevalent. It can also generate unusual evolutionary pressures, prompting hosts to develop defenses against manipulation, while symbionts adapt by finding new ways to endure. In this struggle, sex ratios emerge as a dynamic measure of the ongoing contest. It represents a complex relationship with significant consequences, as it transforms the fundamental makeup of a community, starting from within. Endosymbionts have the ability to shield their hosts from viruses by outnumbering them. Not every internal guest poses a challenge. Certain endosymbionts function as tiny bouncers, regulating access with precision. Through the occupation of cells and the utilization of resources, they create obstacles for viruses attempting to establish themselves. At times, the outcome is merely a struggle for resources and territory. At times, the presence of the symbiont enhances the host's defenses, resulting in a slower or less effective viral growth. In either scenario, the host may find itself less susceptible to specific infections, not due to the emergence of a novel immune gene, but rather through the presence of a beneficial resident. This narrative presents an intriguing perspective on the concept of protection. Safety may arise from those who share your home. In the natural world, this can determine the survival of certain insects during outbreaks, and the persistence of specific populations amid disease challenges. It holds significance for humanity, as researchers have investigated the application of these symbionts in pest management approaches, particularly in areas where insect-transmitted viruses pose a risk to public health. Symbiosis serves as a protective barrier, crafted from the essence of life itself rather than mere metal. Aphids acquire heat tolerance through their association with particular bacterial partners. For small insects, heat can act as a quiet and deadly adversary. A slight change in temperature can lead to interrupted growth, compromised proteins, and reduced chances of survival. Certain aphids find themselves unexpectedly benefiting from specific bacterial allies that enable them to endure elevated temperatures. The bacteria might play a role by generating protective molecules, aiding in stress responses, or maintaining the host's internal chemistry during periods of elevated temperatures. The outcome reveals that two aphids, seemingly alike, can react in contrasting ways to the same sweltering afternoon, solely due to the differences in their internal companions. This concept holds significant weight. It suggests that the ability to adapt to climate stress can occasionally be a collective experience, resembling the act of borrowing a characteristic rather than developing it gradually from the ground up. A changing environment can shift which symbiotic combinations thrive, thereby altering pest outbreaks and plant damage patterns across seasons. In the realm of aphids, survival hinges on an unseen companion nestled within their bodies, akin to a heat kit. Symbiosis emerges as a pathway to resilience, while resilience shifts and adapts as circumstances evolve. It is believed that certain stink bugs acquire microbes from their surroundings during their early stages of life. Not every symbiotic partner is passed down like a cherished family treasure. Some must be obtained afresh, imbuing early life with a sense of urgent purpose. In certain stink bugs, young insects require specific microbes to effectively digest their diet. They do not come into the world equipped with those helpers from the start. Rather, the microbes are gathered from the surroundings shortly after hatching, occasionally from the surface of eggs, or from meticulously selected locations that the mother has prepared. Without the appropriate pickup, the young may struggle to develop properly or may not flourish at all. This transforms the world into a landscape of significant interactions. The insect's survival hinges not just on locating food, but also on discovering the appropriate microscopic allies that render the food accessible. It also adds a layer of intrigue to the experience of parenting. In a broad sense, a mother possesses the power to shape her children's future by providing the appropriate microbes at the crucial times. Here, symbiosis transcends mere relationship. It serves as a significant milestone, an essential introduction to a life reliant on invisible partners. Some bees depend on gut microbes for the efficient processing of pollen. Pollen is rich in nutrients, yet it is encased in resilient outer layers that render it difficult to digest. Some bees find a solution through a specialized gut community that aids in breaking down pollen components and revealing the nourishment within. These microbes play a crucial role in supporting digestion and may also impact the efficiency with which bees extract energy from various plant sources. For a foraging bee, such efficiency holds significant importance. The impact on stamina, growth, and the overall health of the colony is significant, as it relies on the flights of each worker. The gut community is influenced by social interactions, as bees engage closely with one another, sharing food and transferring microbes among their nestmates. This results in a collective internal resource finely attuned to their dietary needs. When the microbial balance is disrupted, bees become increasingly susceptible to stressors, leading to repercussions that affect the entire colony. It is remarkable to understand that pollination, a crucial service in both nature and agriculture, relies on small digestive companions that operate silently within the vibrant bodies of buzzing creatures. The microbes residing in the human gut possess the ability to affect the activation or breakdown of medications. A pill does not function in isolation. Once it is swallowed, it embarks on a journey into a bustling chemical realm teeming with enzymes, acids, and microbes. Certain gut microbes possess the ability to modify medications by decomposing them, converting them into different compounds, or influencing the amount that enters the bloodstream. This indicates that two individuals using the same medication may encounter varying effects, in part due to the differences in their microbial communities. In certain instances, microbes have the potential to diminish the effectiveness of a medication. In some cases, they might lead to side effects by generating unforeseen byproducts. The gut microbiome emerges as an invisible pharmacist, offering assistance at times while also introducing complexities. It further clarifies that personalized medicine encompasses more than just genetics. It may also pertain to the vibrant community that you embody. Researchers are diligently mapping these interactions to ensure that treatments become safer and more predictable. The marvel lies in the fact that you are not merely a patient taking medication. One becomes a complete ecosystem, engaging with it, where the results may hinge on the subtle interplay of the microbes that reside within. Microbes have the ability to educate the immune system, enabling it to accept benign stimuli. The immune system undertakes a fragile task. It must respond swiftly to genuine dangers while maintaining composure in the presence of benign elements such as food proteins, friendly microbes, and the body's own tissues. Understanding that balance is achieved through regular interactions with microbial partners is an essential part of the learning process. Messages from these microbes can assist immune cells in learning what to target and what to disregard. In a way, tolerance transcends mere personal choice. It is a talent molded through connection. With a diverse and stable microbial community, the immune system is provided with consistent and subtle training signals. When the community faces disruption, the training environment shifts, leading the immune system to become more reactive or disoriented. This serves as a rationale for scientists to investigate the impact of early life microbial exposure on long-term immune health. It is not merely a matter of microbes being classified as good or bad. It revolves around their effort to offer context. They assist the immune system in distinguishing between threats and everyday existence. Symbiosis transforms into a form of education, conveyed through the lens of chemistry, practiced daily, until tranquility itself evolves into a habitual reaction. From the moment of birth and through intimate contact, infants are introduced to their initial microbial companions. A newborn arrives in the world, a vessel poised for exploration and growth. In the initial days and weeks, microbial pioneers start to establish themselves on the skin and within the gut, coming in through birth, feeding, and regular interactions with caregivers and the environment. The initial arrivals possess the power to mold the surroundings for subsequent microbes, rendering the first wave particularly significant. Certain microbes assist in the digestion of milk components. Interactions with developing immune tissues occur, as signals are provided that guide the early immune responses. As time passes, a richer community emerges. Yet the initial chapter establishes the atmosphere, akin to placing the first stones of a foundation. This illustrates how alterations in early life experiences can transform microbial patterns, often in ways that researchers are still investigating. The predominant emotion in this narrative is one of awe. From the outset, the infant does not cultivate health in isolation. The body begins to forge connections right away, and these connections can influence the development of digestion, immunity, and resilience. Symbiosis begins in the earliest moments, well before a child finds their voice, as a subtle legacy of connection and nurturing. Antibiotics have the potential to disturb the delicate balance of microbial relationships, with effects that can linger for months. Antibiotics possess the power to save lives, yet they can also spread uncontrollably, much like a wildfire sweeping through a dense forest within the body. They aim at harmful bacteria, but they frequently impact beneficial communities as well, particularly within the gut. Following a course of antibiotics, certain microbial groups may experience a significant reduction, and the community can require an extended period to recover. In that period, the process of digestion might seem unsettled, allowing for the emergence of opportunistic microbes in areas that were once filled. Recovery often transcends a mere reset. The community may find itself restored in a new equilibrium, influenced by dietary choices, environmental factors, and the remnants that endured the upheaval. This is why doctors frequently stress the importance of using antibiotics with care, not due to any inherent negativity, but because of their significant potency. The overarching concept suggests that health is, in part, constructed through the connections we forge with others. Strong interventions can indeed shake the foundations of relationships. At times, the body swiftly rejuvenates its microbial alliances. At times, the ecosystem requires months to find its balance once more. Antibiotics serve as a reminder that addressing one issue can simultaneously alter the unseen network that supports the seamless flow of daily existence. Long ago, bacteria ventured into another cell, marking the beginning of mitochondria. In a time long past, when neither animals nor plants roamed the earth, a remarkable alliance emerged, forever altering the course of existence. A larger cell engulfed a smaller bacterium. Typically, that would conclude the narrative, with the bacterium consumed and vanished. However, in this instance, the visitor remained. As time passed, it evolved into the mitochondrion, the energy-producing structure present in nearly all complex life forms. The host discovered a remarkable method to extract energy from food. The guest found refuge and a consistent source of nourishment. As the years unfolded, the bond deepened to the point where the partners found it impossible to exist apart. The guest relinquished numerous genes, depending on the host for sustenance, yet retained a modest collection of its own. This event sheds light on the reasons behind the intricate development of complex life. Increased energy availability opened the door to a multitude of possibilities, allowing for the evolution of larger genomes, specialized cells, and complex bodies with numerous components. In a way, each breath you take is tied to an age-old pact that united two lives into a single, collaborative force. Chloroplasts originated from cyanobacteria, endowing cells with the remarkable ability to perform photosynthesis. Another ancient merger bestowed upon life a distinct superpower. A cell absorbed a cyanobacterium, a microbe adept at harnessing sunlight and converting it into chemical energy. Rather than facing destruction, it established itself as a lasting presence, transforming into the chloroplasts found within plants and algae today. Through the presence of chloroplasts, cells possess the remarkable ability to synthesize their own sugars using light, water, and carbon dioxide, transforming sunlight into a source of growth. That ability transformed the world. It nourished forests, sparked algae blooms, and formed the foundation of numerous food webs. Over the course of deep time, the atmosphere underwent a transformation as photosynthesis released oxygen, paving the way for new forms of metabolism to emerge. Similar to mitochondria, chloroplasts retain remnants of their beginnings, featuring their own diminutive DNA and a division process that mirrors that of bacteria. What feels so enlightening is the notion that plant life does not stem from a solitary lineage that solely discovered photosynthesis. This outcome stems from a collaboration so fruitful that it has become a hallmark of the sustainable environment we inhabit. Some contemporary amoebas continue to harbor bacterial power plants in the present moment. While ancient mergers may seem like a thing of the past, certain creatures provide glimpses that comparable narratives can unfold in the here and now. Certain amoebas harbor bacterial partners within their cells, serving as internal assistants that aid in energy production and metabolism. The bacteria have the ability to process chemicals and produce usable compounds, thereby granting the amoeba an edge in environments characterized by limited or unusual resources. In the meantime, the bacteria find a secure refuge, shielded from numerous dangers lurking in the external environment. It may not equate to transforming into a mitochondrion, yet it offers a vibrant insight into the beginnings of close connections. The host finds themselves enduring the presence of an internal tenant. The tenant must adjust to existence within a different confinement. Throughout the ages, connections of this nature can deepen, with roles becoming increasingly defined, and those reliant on them expanding. Observing these contemporary alliances feels akin to witnessing the unfolding of evolution in real time. It serves as a reminder that symbiosis is not merely a concept that influenced history. This is a continuous journey that has the potential to forge innovative lifestyles, one collaboration at a time. Symbiosis has the potential to accelerate significant evolutionary changes more rapidly than mutation by itself. Evolution is frequently depicted as a gradual process, characterized by minor mutations that accumulate over extended periods. That is indeed true, yet symbiosis introduces an additional avenue. Rather than biding its time to develop a new ability independently, an organism can acquire it by collaborating with a specialist who possesses the skill already. It resembles enlisting a specialist instead of acquiring the skills on your own. A plant enhances its ability to access nutrients through a partnership with fungi. An animal can acquire illumination, substances, or defense through the hosting of microbes. As time passes, a partnership can evolve to such an extent that it fundamentally alters anatomy, behavior, and even the very essence of inheritance. This can swiftly create new opportunities, as the host can unexpectedly thrive in environments or diets that were once unattainable. The dynamics of symbiosis alter the forces of selection at play. Traits that support the partnership may be favored by natural selection, such as structures that provide shelter for partners or signals that promote cooperation. In this manner, relationships emerge as essential components of the evolutionary toolkit. Symbiosis does not supplant mutation. It introduces a compelling pathway where collaboration can swiftly lead to groundbreaking ideas. Certain sea slugs maintain the functionality of algal chloroplasts within their own cells. Along certain coasts, a sea slug can consume algae and perform something remarkable. Rather than merely processing everything, it has the ability to hold onto the chloroplasts of the algae, those minute structures responsible for photosynthesis, and maintain their functionality within its own tissues. The slug transforms into a unique hybrid an organism that bears the weight of functional plant machinery. This transcends mere food storage. It sustains a tool's existence. The chloroplasts persist in their task of capturing light and generating energy-rich compounds, providing the slug with an advantageous surplus. For this to succeed, the slug must ensure that the chloroplasts remain intact and create an environment that maintains their stability. It frequently adapts its actions to the dynamics of the relationship, choosing to linger in bright spaces as if it cherishes the warmth of sunlight. The vision evokes a serene moment, reminiscent of science fiction, where a delicate creature intertwines with the essence of a plant. It illustrates the remarkable adaptability of symbiosis and reveals how the lines separating different lifestyles can fade in the most surprising contexts. The slugs exhibit an impressive ability to endure extended periods without nourishment, drawing upon the energy of borrowed sunlight. In times of scarcity, many animals find themselves compelled to either intensify their search or adopt a slower pace, enduring the challenges that come their way. A sea slug, possessing functioning chloroplasts, discovers an alternative path. It possesses the ability to elongate time. By utilizing photosynthesis to some extent, it may endure for a longer duration between meals, compared to a similar creature lacking that acquired capability. The impact is not boundless, and it fluctuates depending on the species and the circumstances. Yet, it remains truly remarkable. The sunlight serves as an additional nourishment, subtly provided through the slug's own body. This transforms the essence of hunger. The focus has shifted beyond merely what the animal can discover and consume. It also concerns the resting place, the amount of light it absorbs, and the ability to sustain its internal chloroplast inhabitants. The slug does not belong to the plant kingdom. It continues to require nutrients and materials that light alone is unable to supply. However, the collaboration has the potential to provide a crucial advantage, as time can often be the deciding factor between survival and demise in challenging periods. This serves as an exemplary illustration of how symbiosis can function as a survival strategy, transforming the very environment and the daily rhythm of daylight into a vital resource for sustenance. In a unique arrangement, multiple partners can coexist, sharing a single habitat in a harmonious blend of symbiosis. Some symbioses consist of straightforward pairs, while others resemble bustling households, where numerous partners influence the result. A single host harbors various microbes, each fulfilling unique functions like aiding in digestion, providing defense, or producing essential nutrients. At times, a partnership requires an additional presence to bring balance, much like an invisible mediator guiding the dynamics. In coral, for instance, the coral animal and ordy take center stage, while bacteria and other microbes residing on the surface and within tissues play a significant role in influencing health and stress response. In the world of insects, one symbiont may supply essential nutrients, while another may safeguard against parasites. The relationships, with their intricate layers, reveal a surprising dynamism. When one partner alters their behavior, it can prompt changes in the others, leading the entire system to lean towards either well-being or conflict. The allure of multi-partner symbiosis lies in its resemblance to ecosystems rather than traditional marriages. Within a single body, alliances form, competition arises, and trade-offs unfold. It serves as a reminder that an organism can embody a community, illustrating how life frequently addresses challenges by forming teams rather than mere pairs, with each individual offering unique contributions to the collective survival strategy. Certain bark beetles transport fungi that assist in overpowering the defenses of trees. A tree possesses its own means of protection. Numerous entities are capable of generating adhesive resins and chemical substances that repel intruders or render them toxic. Yet, bark beetles possess allies that assist them in overcoming those defenses. Certain species transport fungal spores upon their bodies, thereby introducing the fungi into the tree as they tunnel beneath the bark. The fungi have the potential to permeate the wood, hindering the tree's capacity to defend itself. At times, the flow of water transport is obstructed, or the chemical landscape is transformed. This facilitates the establishment of galleries by beetles, allowing them to rear their young more effectively. For the fungus, the beetle serves as both a taxi and a key, transporting it into new territory that would be difficult to access on its own. The outcome can be a united front, where the collaboration of insect and fungus proves to be significantly more powerful than either could achieve alone. This narrative explores a symbiosis tinged with darkness, focusing not on harmony, but on the power of their union. It illustrates the way in which collaborations can transform forests, converting small beetles into catalysts for significant change. Within the confines of wood tunnels, ambrosia beetles cultivate fungi, nurturing their unique crop. Certain beetles do not consume the wood they bore into. The land is utilized for agricultural purposes. Ambrosia beetles create intricate tunnels and chambers, subsequently nurturing fungi along the walls of these passages. The fungi thrive on the wood, decomposing it and generating nourishing material for the beetles and their larvae to consume. Within this framework, the beetle assumes the roles of both an architect and a farmer. It transports fungal spores to new trees, cultivates the crop in fresh tunnels, and sustains the environment for the fungus to flourish. The fungus thrives by securing a consistent source of wood and a safe environment for growth. The beetle transforms a resource that would typically offer little nutritional value into a reliable source of sustenance. This represents a small-scale version of agriculture, concealed within trunks, functioning away from view. It resonates with the fungal farming of leafcutter ants, yet unfolds in an alternate habitat, facing unique challenges and showcasing a distinct style of garden. It serves as a reminder that symbiosis can evolve into culture, fostering behaviors that resemble planning, even when driven by instinct. Some plants rely on ants for the dispersal of their seeds. For a seed, the journey unfolds as fate. Landing a few feet away could signify shade, competition, or inadequate soil conditions. Certain plants address this challenge by enlisting ants to act as their transporters. The seeds possess tiny, fatty attachments that captivate the attention of ants. A small ant diligently picks up the seed, transporting it back to the nest, where it skillfully removes the edible part. Then the ant discards the seed, frequently in a nutrient-rich waste area that is sheltered and perfect for germination. The plant acquires the ability to spread and finds an improved location for growth. The ant receives a significant food reward. The elegance lies in its precision. The seed comes enclosed with an enticing incentive aimed at a trustworthy messenger. As time passes, this has the potential to influence plant communities, as ants transport seeds to more secure microhabitats, distancing them from seed-eating predators that linger near the parent plant. It represents a harmonious relationship, functioning seamlessly like a well-oiled machine. Small laborers adhering to straightforward guidelines ultimately cultivate the future of a forest floor. Each seed transported one at a time. The seed that embodies mutualism is known as momokatori, and it can be found in abundance. Momokatori may seem like an unusual and little-known tactic, yet it repeatedly appears across the globe, particularly in forests, where the ground poses challenges and risks for seeds. Numerous plants attach a small, fatty food package to their seeds, a tantalizing prize that ants can detect and transport. This transcends mere transportation. It serves as an ingenious method to evade seed predators and break free from the looming presence of the parent plant, a place frequently fraught with disease and voracious appetites. Ant nests serve as unexpectedly secure drop points, offering protected soil, scattered nutrients, and a reduced presence of seed eaters lurking nearby. In certain environments, this collaboration can indeed support seeds in enduring challenging seasons. Nests provide a protective barrier against fluctuations in temperature and moisture. As one discovers the prevalence of momokatori, the forest floor transforms into a bustling delivery network where ants silently influence which plants embark on their journey of life. Certain butterflies choose to deposit their eggs exclusively on plants that are safeguarded by protective ant companions. For certain butterflies, the decision of where to deposit an egg transcends the mere selection of an appropriate leaf. The narrative revolves around the decision to employ security for an infant who is unable to flee. In various groups, particularly among the gentle blues, the presence of ants increases the chances of survival for the caterpillars. The butterfly seeks out plants that are already guarded by ants, as these vigilant insects can fend off predators and parasites that might otherwise threaten the caterpillar. This forms an unusual triangle of reliance. The plant offers sustenance. The caterpillar offers a reward that captivates the ant's attention. The ants offer a safeguard that alters the likelihood of achieving maturity. The butterfly's instincts are sharpened to detect the presence of ants, occasionally even distinguishing between specific ant species. It serves as a reminder that the approaches to parenting can be derived from external sources. Rather than constructing a nest or protecting an egg, a butterfly has the unique ability to entrust its offspring to a vigilant community. In a world where diminutive protectors could determine the fate of disappearing or taking flight, in those systems, ants engage in the herding of caterpillars to obtain their sweet secretions. Once the caterpillar hatches, the relationship takes on a serene quality. Ants might encircle it, brushing against it with their antennae, urging it to release sweet droplets from its specialized glands. The caterpillar transforms into a traveling banquet, while the ants take on the role of guardians, guiding it as it indulges in its meal. Some ants will even carry a caterpillar to safer spots or shelter it during bad weather, as preserving its life ensures their access to a steady supply of sweetness. The caterpillar, in a remarkable twist, acquires a private security team capable of fending off attackers much larger than the ants themselves. The communication aspect adds a layer of fascination. In the intricate world of nature, ants and caterpillars engage in a fascinating exchange of chemical cues. In certain species, the caterpillar possesses the remarkable ability to emit signals that soothe and maintain the ant's calm and focus. What unfolds is a relationship reminiscent of animal husbandry, yet the livestock consists of gentle, leaf-munching larvae, while the caretakers are diminutive insects drawn to sweetness. Certain parasites exert influence over their hosts, enhancing their own prospects for propagation. The challenge faced by a parasite extends beyond mere survival within a host. It also involves the pursuit of reaching the next host. Some navigate that challenge by changing their behavior, transforming the host into an unsuspecting vessel. This manipulation can be nuanced, akin to altering daily routines, numbing fear, or influencing an animal's choice of resting place. It can also take on a dramatic flair by thrusting a host into perilous situations where predators are more inclined to seize their opportunity. From the perspective of the parasite, peril can serve a purpose if it leads to the opportunity for a new host. The mechanisms differ. Some parasites influence hormones, while others engage with the nervous system, and still others initiate immune signals that resonate through mood and movement. The unsettling aspect lies in the fact that the host's decisions may cease to be solely its own, instead molded by the life cycle of another organism. It is a complex relationship with a dark purpose, where existence hinges on subtly influencing another's actions to ensure the continuation of the parasite's narrative. Toxoplasma has the ability to alter rodent behavior in ways that benefit cats. Toxoplasma possesses a complex life cycle, with one of its crucial endpoints being a cat. In rodents, infection can alter behavior in ways that appear almost tailored to enhance the likelihood of capture. Rather than steering clear of cat scents with typical caution, infected rodents may exhibit reduced wariness, and in certain studies, they display changed reactions that increase the likelihood of engaging in risky exploration. For the parasite, that risk serves a crucial purpose, as accessing a cat enables it to reproduce sexually and fulfill a significant phase of its life cycle. Within the rodent, the parasite has the ability to create tissue cysts, even in the brain. It has the potential to impact the chemical signals associated with fear and reward. The details remain a vibrant field of inquiry, yet the overarching pattern serves as a haunting illustration of how a tiny organism can influence the actions of a significantly larger creature. It transforms a predator-prey relationship into a foundation, subtly shifting the perception of free will from being entirely absolute. Rabies transforms behavior, illustrating that manipulation can be both lethal and straightforward. Rabies stands as a chilling illustration of how an infection can alter behavior, with these changes intricately linked to its transmission. The virus moves through the nervous system, leading to agitation, confusion, and aggression, which heightens the chances of biting. The virus employs biting as its method of transmission, delivering saliva into a new host via broken skin. Rabies may induce excruciating challenges in swallowing and a profound thirst, resulting in the disconcerting behavior of shunning water. The tragedy lies in the fact that these symptoms are not mere random occurrences of damage. They assist in the process of transmission. The host exhibits increasing restlessness and reactivity, showing a greater tendency to roam and attack, which consequently heightens the likelihood of transmitting the virus. Though lacking warmth, this connection remains a biological one, where one organism influences the behavior of another to fulfill its own requirements. Rabies reveals the unsettling aspects of symbiosis in a vivid manner. At times, the bonds formed may lead to unintended consequences rather than support. A multitude of pathogens arise from intimate relationships that have transformed into parasitic ones. Not every perilous microbe originated as an obvious antagonist. Numerous pathogens probably began as benign associates, coexisting with their hosts without creating significant issues. As time progresses, alterations in the environment, host defenses, or microbial genetics can transform the dynamics of the relationship. A microbe that once fed quietly on leftovers may now acquire the capability to invade tissues, evade immune responses, or take advantage of inflammation. In such moments, a well-known inhabitant may transform into a cunning opportunist. This explains why certain infections arise from organisms that are already found on the body or in the surrounding environment. The divide, separating ordinary existence from illness, may be more delicate than we are willing to acknowledge. It signifies that evolution is perpetually exploring new strategies. When a microbe's ability to exploit a host enhances its transmission, such characteristics may be selected for, regardless of the host's detriment. Considering pathogens as once familiar neighbors transforms the narrative, it is not always an unexpected incursion. At times, a relationship may gradually and silently evolve into a state of conflict. Certain bacteria alternate between being beneficial and detrimental, influenced by their host. Some microbes can be characterized as allies under certain conditions. For years, they can coexist in tranquility, even offering advantages such as shielding their territory from more perilous intruders. However, in unfavorable circumstances, they have the potential to lead to illness. A cut, a weakened immune system, a change in oxygen levels, or a shift in nutrient availability can transform a tranquil resident into a fervent grower. This shift is not simply due to the microbe's sudden choice to act negatively. Rather, it is the changing environment that alters which traits become beneficial. Within a stable habitat, the benefits of cooperation may become evident. In a disrupted environment, swift growth might yield better results. This concept sheds light on the reasons behind the varying impacts of the same bacterial species, illustrating how it can be benign in one individual, yet pose risks to another, or remain innocuous in one location of the body while becoming perilous in another. It also highlights the extent to which symbiosis is influenced by its surroundings. The relationship remains fluid and open to change. It represents a dynamic equilibrium, attuned to the state of the host, and the chances presented to the microbe. A microbiome functions similarly to an ecosystem, complete with its own predators and prey. Within the confines of a gut, a mouth, or upon the skin, microbes exist not merely in proximity to one another. They engage in competition, collaborate, and at times pursue their prey. Some bacteria release toxins that specifically target rival strains, establishing their territory in a manner reminiscent of miniature chemical warfare. Some individuals focus on utilizing the byproducts of those around them, transforming waste into nourishment, in a network of reliance that mirrors a food web. In a broader sense, there exist microbial predators, including protozoa that graze on bacteria, influencing the abundance of various species. Even in the absence of genuine hunting, the competition for resources leads to a clear division between winners and losers, with the equilibrium capable of shifting rapidly as dietary changes or stress alter the available sustenance. This explains the reasons behind the long-term stability of a microbiome. Then, all at once, it transformed, much like a forest reborn after a tempest. Viewing your microbiome as an ecosystem clarifies how minor adjustments can lead to significant impacts. You are not managing a single germ. You are living with a whole community of interactions. Bacteriophages, inside you, prey on bacteria, shaping the whole community. Among the most abundant life forms on Earth are bacteriophages, viruses that infect bacteria. In your body, they are part of the invisible drama, attaching to bacterial cells, injecting genetic material, and replicating until the host bursts or is altered. This can keep bacterial populations in check, like a shifting pressure that prevents any one group from dominating for too long. Some phages lie low, embedding in bacterial DNA and waiting, quietly changing what their host can do, including how it competes or defends itself. Bacteria respond with their own defenses, including molecular systems that recognize and cut viral genetic material, creating an ongoing arms race at microscopic scale. The result is that the bacterial community is not shaped only by food and space, but also by viral predation and viral bargains. When you imagine symbiosis, you might think of two partners helping each other. Phages add another layer, because even helpful bacteria live under constant viral pressure that can reshape the entire ecosystem. The virome, your resident viruses, can be part of normal health. When most people hear the word virus, they think of sickness. But your body also hosts a virome, a collection of viruses that can be present even when you feel perfectly well. Some infect bacteria instead of human cells. And by controlling bacterial numbers, they can indirectly shape digestion, inflammation, and which microbes get to dominate. Others may quietly coexist with you, held in check by your immune system, like background residents in a crowded city. This does not mean every virus is harmless. It means the story is more complicated than enemy versus victim. Health can include a steady, managed relationship with viral life. Researchers are still mapping what a typical virome looks like and how it changes with age, diet, and environment. The fascinating takeaway is that you are not just living with bacteria and fungi, you're also living with viruses. And some of them may be part of the balance that keeps your internal ecosystem stable. Some symbioses are inherited, passed from parent to offspring, like traits. Some partnerships are so important that they get built into the next generation. Instead of a young animal or plant having to hunt for the right partner each time, the partner is delivered directly from parent to offspring. This can happen through eggs, through specialized tissues, or through close contact that reliably transfers the right microbes. The advantage is obvious. The offspring begins life with a proven toolkit already installed, whether that toolkit helps with digestion, defense, or nutrition. Over a long time, inherited symbioses can become extremely tight because each partner's success is linked to the other's reproduction. That can lead to deep dependence, where the host cannot thrive without its inherited companions, and the companions cannot survive outside the host's lineage. It is inheritance but not just of genes. It is inheritance of living relationships. When you think of evolution, you might picture traits passed down like eye color or size. Symbiosis shows that entire communities can be passed down too. Others are acquired fresh, meaning partners must find each generation. Not every symbiotic relationship comes with a guaranteed handoff. In many species, each new generation has to find its partners in the world, like moving into a new home and assembling the right set of roommates. A young animal may pick up microbes from food, soil, water, or social contact. The timing can be crucial, because early arrivals can shape which later partners can settle. This makes the environment part of inheritance, because a healthy habitat can supply the right allies, while a disrupted one may not. It also makes symbiosis more flexible. If conditions change, acquiring partners from the environment can allow an organism to form new relationships better suited to the moment. But flexibility comes with risk. If the right partners are rare, the young may struggle. This type of symbiosis turns development into a quest where survival depends not only on what you are, but on who you meet early enough to matter. Symbiosis can be a form of division of labor across species. One of the most efficient ways to solve a hard problem is to share the work. Symbiosis often looks like division of labor, where each partner specializes in what it does best. One might gather energy, another might process nutrients, another might provide defense. Instead of carrying every tool inside one body, life can spread tasks across multiple bodies and then connect them through trade. This can be more efficient than evolving every capability alone, because specialists can be extremely good at their job. It also allows partners to adapt in different directions. If the environment changes, one partner may evolve a better way to capture resources, while the other evolves a better way to house and manage the relationship. Over time, this can create systems that feel almost engineered, with reliable roles and predictable exchanges. The result is that an organism's abilities can be partly outsourced. Your survival does not have to rely only on your own genes and tissues. It can also rely on what your partners do for you and what you do for them in return. Some crabs wear sea anemones as living armor. In the ocean, being small can mean being edible. Some crabs respond by turning another animal into a shield. They pick up sea anemones and hold them on their claws, or place them on their shells like living gloves. The anemone's stinging cells can discourage predators that might otherwise grab the crab. The crab gains protection. It did not grow itself. The anemone gains transport, which can bring it to new feeding opportunities and help it avoid being left behind in a poor spot. Watching it is oddly intimate, like seeing one creature dress itself in another. It also shows how behavior can be part of symbiosis. This is not a passive relationship where partners simply happen to touch. The crab actively chooses and positions its partner, and the partner's weaponry becomes part of the crab's defense system. In a world where armor is usually built from shells and spikes, this is armor made of living, stinging tissue. Hermit crabs trade mobility for protection by carrying stinging partners. A hermit crab already lives in a borrowed shell, but some go further and carry extra defenders along for the ride. They may place stinging sea anemones on the shell's surface, creating a moving fortress that is unpleasant to bite. The hermit crab gains a safer home, and the anemone gains mobility and access to food scraps stirred up by the crab's travels. There is even a sense of maintenance. Some hermit crabs will move their anemones to a new shell when they upgrade homes, as if relocating trusted guards to a better apartment. That behavior turns the partnership into something lasting, not a one-time accessory. The trade-off is that carrying extra passengers can add weight and complexity, yet the protection may be worth it in predator-rich waters. This relationship is a vivid reminder that symbiosis can be practical. It is not always about chemistry inside cells. Sometimes it is about who you bring with you into danger and how you turn a home into a defended space. Certain fish live among urchin spines to avoid predators. Sea urchins look like living pincushions, and most predators approach them with caution. Some small fish use that fear as a shelter. They weave among the spines, slipping into spaces that larger hunters cannot reach safely. The urchin becomes a spiky barricade, a place where a fish can rest, hide, and sometimes even raise young, with a little more security. The fish may provide benefits in return, depending on the species, such as nibbling on parasites or cleaning bits of debris that settle on the urchin. Even when the benefits to the urchin are subtle, the association can still matter, because it changes who survives in that patch of reef. A predator may circle, hesitate, and move on, leaving the fish alive because it chose the right neighbor. This is one of the simplest and most elegant forms of symbiosis. It is about geometry and fear. It turns a dangerous body shape into a safe room, and it shows how shelter can be borrowed from another life. Pistol, shrimp, and gobies coordinate like a tiny two-species crew. In the sand and rubble of a reef, a pistol shrimp can build and maintain a burrow, but it lives with a constant problem. Its eyesight is poor, and danger can arrive fast. A goby fish solves that problem by acting as lookout, hovering at the entrance and scanning for threats. The shrimp keeps a feeler in contact with the goby, and that touch becomes a simple communication channel. When the goby signals alarm, both retreat. When the coast is clear, the shrimp resumes digging, while the goby stands guard. What makes this partnership feel so compelling is how it resembles teamwork you might see on a job site. One partner is the builder, one partner is the security. Together they create a safer home than either could manage alone. The coordination is not complicated language. It is timing, touch, and trust, repeated day after day. In a place where many lives are solitary and fast, this pair slows down to cooperate, and that cooperation becomes their advantage. Cattle egrets follow grazers catching insects. The herd kicks up. On a grassland, a large grazing animal changes the world with every step. It disturbs grass, shakes loose insects, and flushes small prey into the air. Cattle egrets have learned to treat this movement like a meal service. They walk alongside cattle, buffalo, and other grazers, watching carefully for insects startled into motion. The bird gains food with less searching. The grazer may gain a small benefit too, if some of those insects would otherwise bite, irritate, or carry disease. Even when the benefit to the grazer is modest, the association can still shape how both species use the landscape. The egret is not tied to one animal as a permanent partner in the way microbes are tied to a host. It is a flexible relationship based on opportunity and attention, yet it is still symbiosis in spirit, because one species' daily routine creates a resource another species can harvest. It turns a herd into a moving habitat, and the air above the hooves becomes a hunting ground. Even sharks host remoras, hitchhikers that feed on scraps and parasites. A remora looks like a fish with a built-in suction device, and it uses that tool to attach to larger animals, including sharks. The shark becomes a moving platform through the ocean, carrying the remora, without the remora spending much energy on swimming long distances. In return, the remora gains access to meals. It can eat scraps from the shark's hunts, and sometimes pick off external parasites or bits of dead skin. The shark may be mostly indifferent, but in some cases the cleaning could offer a slight advantage, like a quick grooming service in open water. The relationship is also a lesson in design. The remora's body is shaped for attachment, with a modified structure on its head that grips without damaging too much, allowing it to ride for long stretches. This is symbiosis, as travel and opportunity. It is not a tender partnership. It is practical and opportunistic, built on the simple truth that in the ocean, getting to food can be as hard as catching it, and a free ride can change everything. Some symbiotic bacteria help squids and fish avoid harmful biofouling. In the ocean, surfaces are constantly under siege by would-be settlers. Algae, barnacle, larvae, and bacterial films can cling to skin, shells, and gills. A process called biofouling that can add drag, irritate tissues, and invite infection. Some squids and fish fight back with help from microbial roommates. Beneficial bacteria can live on the skin or in mucus layers and release chemicals that discourage other microbes from sticking or growing. Think of it as a living, self-refreshing coating. Rather than the host needing to create every defensive compound in isolation, it depends on a community that engages in chemistry continuously. This holds particular significance for animals that swim continuously, as even a minor rise in drag can lead to greater energy expenditure with each movement. It also signifies that health is, in part, influenced by the governance of the neighborhood. Through the support of suitable residents, the host transforms into a space that is less inviting for trouble. Plants have the ability to select more advantageous fungal partners by offering greater rewards to those that provide assistance. A plant may appear to be still, yet beneath the surface, it operates with the precision of a diligent overseer. As fungi connect with roots and provide essential nutrients, the plant responds by channeling more sugars towards them, rewarding those that perform best. When a fungal partner provides minimal benefits, the plant has the ability to decrease that contribution, rendering the partnership less advantageous for the fungus. This establishes a cycle that can guide the collaboration toward mutual support. It operates as if it were a conscious choice, even though it is not. The plant's carbon is restricted, thus it is logical to allocate resources where the potential gains are greater. The captivating aspect of this lies in its resemblance to a marketplace, where incentives influence behaviors among various species. Various fungi vie for a plant's sugars, while plants can alter their support based on the conditions of the soil and their nutrient requirements. In this context, the root zone transforms into a marketplace where food, minerals, and trust are exchanged, and where reliable partners find their rewards in the nourishment they receive. In a world where some take advantage without consequence, those who are committed adapt and strengthen their defenses. In the realm of cooperation, the allure of deceit often lurks in the shadows. In symbiosis, a cheater is akin to a partner who reaps the benefits while contributing minimally, much like a contractor who collects payment yet neglects to fulfill their obligations. A microbe may utilize resources while failing to offer any form of defense. A mutualist may take sugars without providing any nutrients in return. The cheats may proliferate when the immediate advantages are substantial, yet they simultaneously exert significant pressure on defenses. Hosts might develop methods to identify inadequate performance and cut off assistance. Partners in cooperation might develop strategies that complicate deceit, such as mandating a particular exchange prior to the distribution of benefits. As time passes, this can lead to the emergence of remarkably sophisticated systems of control, even in the absence of any deliberate planning. It unfolds as a dynamic competition centered on the concept of fairness. The intriguing aspect lies in how infidelity sheds light on the remarkable nature of stable symbioses. They endure, having faced trials that have shaped them. The survivors are those who can manage the relationship, ensuring that cooperation does not devolve into mere exploitation. Symbiosis has the potential to bring stability to ecosystems by distributing risk among its partners. The world around us brims with unpredictability. The drought sets in, food vanishes, temperatures fluctuate. Symbiosis serves as a stabilizing force, distributing risk among various capabilities. When one partner faces a specific stress, the other may continue to perform effectively, providing support to the overall dynamic. A host may derive essential nutrients from a partner during times of resource scarcity. When the elements turn unforgiving, a partner finds refuge in the warmth of companionship. At the ecosystem level, these relationships can prevent productivity from collapsing completely, as energy and nutrients continue to flow through alternative pathways. It resembles possessing multiple engines on a boat. Even if one falters, the other can continue to propel you ahead. This stabilizing effect can influence the resilience of various habitats following a disturbance. It further clarifies the reasons behind the strong reliance of certain environments, such as reefs and forests, on collaborative relationships. Their richness extends beyond the mere existence of life, It encompasses the intricate connections that bind those lives together. When connections are robust and varied, the entire system is capable of withstanding shocks and continuing onward. On the island, certain birds found themselves devoid of predators, leading to a remarkable shift in their behavior, as they grew increasingly bold in their interactions. On numerous islands, the population of predators is less dense compared to that on continents. As peril recedes, actions may transform in ways that appear truly astonishing. Birds might exhibit reduced caution, allowing them to linger longer on the ground or forage in the open without a sense of urgency. In that more tranquil environment, alliances can also evolve. Certain mutualisms take on a remarkably straightforward nature, as the risks associated with lingering, approaching, and trusting diminish. A bird may carefully observe large animals or engage with plants in manners that would be too perilous amidst ongoing danger. The outcome may be connections that appear nearly unafraid, as though the guidelines of prudence have been transformed. Yet, that audacity carries with it a delicate aspect. With the arrival of new predators, often brought in by human intervention, the previously laid-back strategies can swiftly turn perilous. What is intriguing in this context is the way symbiosis is influenced not just by the partners involved, but also by the underlying atmosphere of fear present in the environment. Eliminate fear, and collaboration can emerge into the light. Introduce fear once more, and those same behaviors may unexpectedly lead to significant consequences. In deserts, plant root microbes play a crucial role in helping to withstand drought and salt conditions. Plants in the desert exist on a precarious balance. Water comes in short bursts, leading to a buildup of salts in the soil, which makes it difficult for roots to absorb moisture. Certain plants acquire a benefit from the microbial allies that surround and inhabit their roots. These microbes assist plants in accessing water more efficiently, shaping root growth patterns, or generating compounds that bolster stress responses during periods of dehydration. Others have the ability to influence the effects of salinity by changing the chemistry directly at the root surface. The outcome is not a miraculous solution that simplifies the challenges of arid lands, but rather a collection of minor enhancements that can influence the fate of those enduring an extended period of drought. The compelling nature lies in the notion that resilience is something that can be shared among individuals. A plant need not face the challenge of drought in solitude, relying solely on thicker leaves or deeper roots. The chemistry and services of a microbial community, which has evolved to withstand the same harsh soil, can also be relied upon. In a seemingly barren landscape, a vibrant symbiosis thrives just beneath the surface. In the Arctic, lichens sustain reindeer, intertwining symbiosis with entire food webs. In the Arctic, winter can envelop the land in a shroud of snow and ice. Yet the great beasts of the wild discover ways to sustain themselves. Lichens, resilient alliances of fungus and photosynthetic organisms, serve as a vital food source for reindeer and caribou across various regions. Lichens, with their ability to grow slowly on rocks and tundra soils, serve as energy reservoirs in environments where other plants are either scarce or in a state of dormancy. As reindeer sift through the snow, they engage in a delicate relationship that has, unbeknownst to them, harnessed the essence of light from months past. This establishes a compelling sequence of reliance. A fungus and an alga join forces to create a lichen. The lichen provides sustenance for a grazing mammal. The grazer provides sustenance for predators, scavengers, and human communities alike. A complete food web, partially reliant on a partnership that can be delicately extracted from a stone. The Arctic reveals that symbiosis transcends mere curiosity. It has the potential to be fundamental. A small collaboration can evolve into migrations, cultures, and the ability to endure harsh, cold conditions. Some invasive species thrive by carrying their microbial allies along for the journey. As a species ventures into a new habitat, it encounters an unseen obstacle. The new environment might lack the essential microbes necessary for its nutrition, defense, or growth. Some invaders navigate this challenge by arriving with their companions already in tow, transported in roots, guts, seeds, or soil, clinging to their bodies and cargo. A strong beginning can hold significant power. When the invader's microbes assist in nutrient extraction, combat local pathogens, or endure stress, the invader can swiftly take hold, leaving native species to grapple with the challenges. In this manner, the act of invasion is not solely an individual endeavor. A team may arrive together. A shadowy turn also emerges. Microbes that are introduced can extend their reach beyond the initial host, leading to disruptions in local microbial communities. This alteration affects soils and plant health, creating effects that resonate outward. What appears to be a single species in motion is frequently an entire mobile ecosystem on the move. Symbiosis transforms invasion into a collaborative arrangement where the triumph of one organism hinges on the unseen partners it transports across vast oceans and borders. Symbiosis has the potential to impact speciation as the interactions between partners determine the survival of various species in different environments. At times, the distinction between one species and another lies not just in geography or genetics, but in the bonds they form with one another. When a population relies on a specific symbiont for digestion, toxin resistance, or climate tolerance, its distribution and way of life become intricately linked to the presence of that partner. As time passes, groups that align with various partners may begin to drift apart. Different habitats may be utilized, breeding may occur at various times, or preferences for food may vary, all influenced by the distinct symbiotic toolkit that guides them along divergent paths. Such differences may lead to a decrease in interbreeding, causing populations to slowly evolve into separate species. In that regard, symbiosis serves as an unseen boundary on a map, influencing the dynamics of survival and reproduction among different species. It also implies that evolution is not merely a narrative of a single lineage transforming in solitude. The narrative unfolds through interconnected lineages, navigating the complexities of unity and division as their paths diverge with differing partners. Speciation may commence with a shift in relationships, eventually solidifying into a transformation of identity. Certain creatures host complete miniature ecosystems upon their skin. Skin transcends mere boundaries. For certain creatures, it serves as a vast expanse. For instance, amphibians can harbor a variety of microbial communities on their moist skin, and these communities can affect the animal's ability to resist disease. Marine animals possess films of microbes that alter the flow of water over their bodies, influence the dispersion of odors, and determine which other organisms seek to attach themselves. Even sizable creatures can transform into mobile ecosystems, harboring minuscule inhabitants nestled within their creases, pores, and mucus layers. The expansive nature of this concept is truly remarkable when considering its scale. A single body encompasses various habitats, each characterized by its unique conditions and inhabitants, much like the diverse neighborhoods found within a single city. The skin ecosystems are subject to changes influenced by seasonal stress and environmental factors, serving important functions in both protection and communication. In certain instances, the host might actively promote the growth of specific microbes by generating particular compounds that nourish them. An animal exists not merely as an individual navigating through an ecosystem. It embodies a dynamic ecosystem in itself, adorned with a living coat of microscopic life that influences its very survival. In their fur, sloths carry algae and moths, creating a dynamic ecosystem that travels with them. The fur of a sloth serves as more than mere protection. It embodies a miniature ecosystem on the move. Moisture can linger in the grooves of those hairs, allowing algae to grow and tint the sloth a faint green, which aids in blending into the leafy forests. That camouflage can be significant when one moves slowly and spends much of their life suspended in plain view. Yet the narrative takes an even more peculiar turn. Some sloths serve as hosts for moths, that reside in their fur, transforming the sloth into a unique flying apartment complex. The moths find refuge and a haven to pass their time. The sloth might experience indirect advantages as the moths contribute to the fertilization of the algae during their life cycle, enhancing the lush greenery that aids in its camouflage. It is a complex collaboration that fosters the development of an environment essential for survival. A solitary creature transforms into a miniature ecosystem, transporting flora and fauna as it meanders, resembling a gentle island adrift among the treetops. Whales carry barnacles, yet share tales of their migration paths. When one observes barnacles clinging to a whale, they witness hitchhikers that can endure for months. As the whale journeys through the ocean, these crustaceans attach themselves and flourish, transforming their presence into a dynamic record of the whale's travels. As whales traverse vast expanses, barnacle clinging to one experiences a dynamic environment, shifting from warm breeding zones to the chill of feeding grounds. The barnacle receives a steady stream of water and an abundance of food particles, all thanks to the whale's movement. The whale often remains indifferent, although substantial burdens may create resistance or cause discomfort to its skin in certain situations. The beauty of this relationship lies in how barnacles assist scientists in recognizing species, individuals, and movement patterns, as various whales harbor distinct communities and growth histories. A barnacle serves not merely as a passenger, it stands as a testament to a journey undertaken. It serves as a reminder that migration encompasses more than just a single animal traversing vast oceans. It is a dynamic journey that transports various lives, leaving behind traces inscribed in shells. Sea turtles are accompanied by hitchhiking organisms that alter their drag and overall health. The shell of a sea turtle serves as a stage for a diverse assembly of hitchhikers, ranging from tiny barnacles to vibrant algae and various other encrusting organisms. In tranquil waters that may appear innocuous, yet in the vast ocean, the laws of physics hold significant weight. The additional growth may lead to increased drag, compelling the turtle to expend more energy with each stroke. It may also lead to the formation of rough areas that attract more organisms, establishing a cycle of fouling that intensifies as time progresses. However, the narrative does not consistently lean towards the negative. Some hitchhikers might remain largely indifferent, while a select few could potentially assist by deterring more detrimental settlers, contingent upon who makes their arrival first. For the hitchhikers, the turtle serves as a valuable asset, offering a means of travel through abundant waters and a solid foundation in a realm where reliable surfaces are scarce. For the turtle, there exists a perpetual balancing act between transporting its passengers and maintaining its sleek form. This relationship reveals how health can be influenced by seemingly simple factors, such as what clings to you, and how a creature in motion can transform into a drifting habitat for various species. The human mouth serves as a complex ecosystem, teeming with life rather than existing as a sterile environment. The mouth stands as one of the most densely populated habitats within the human body. Microbes come together on teeth, gums, and tongue, forming organized communities known as biofilms. These biofilms are far more than mere random slime. In these organized neighborhoods, various species coexist in distinct layers, engaging in the exchange of nutrients and influencing the local chemistry. Certain microbes contribute to maintaining balance within the system by occupying areas that could potentially be taken over by more harmful invaders. Some organisms decompose food particles and generate acids, which may pose a risk to enamel if the equilibrium shifts excessively. Saliva contributes an additional dimension, cleansing, nourishing, and balancing, all while your immune defenses remain vigilant. The fascination lies in how daily habits, eating, drinking, brushing, transform an entire ecosystem multiple times each day. The mouth serves as a clear example of symbiosis when examined closely, as the line separating a healthy community from detrimental overgrowth is remarkably fine. You are not merely maintaining oral hygiene. A living landscape is being managed, one that has the potential to support health as long as it remains in balance. The skin microbiome plays a crucial role in defending against pathogens by occupying valuable space. Picture the challenge of entering a city where each apartment is filled, every entrance is under scrutiny, and all resources are already taken. Your skin may appear this way to numerous potential pathogens. The microbes that typically inhabit the skin occupy space, utilize available nutrients, and generate chemical conditions that hinder the establishment of potential invaders. Some even generate substances that directly hinder their rivals. This phenomenon is known as colonization resistance, representing one of the most straightforward mechanisms through which symbiosis offers protection. The skin offers the environment with its oils, sweat, and fluctuating moisture levels. The microbes create a protective shield, transforming unprotected skin into a fortified domain. The equilibrium shifts depending on the location as well. A dry forearm differs significantly from a moist armpit or an oily forehead, with each environment nurturing its own unique community. The compelling nature of this lies in the idea that safety can arise from being present, not through armaments, but through mere occupancy. Your microbes serve not just as passengers, they act as vigilant guardians, silently protecting the boundary that separates you from the external environment. Some symbioses are so intertwined that the partners can no longer exist apart from one another. Certain relationships start with collaboration and ultimately evolve into a seamless unity. Through the passage of time, partners may develop such a deep interdependence that the idea of separation becomes unimaginable. One might forfeit the essential genes required for solitary survival as the host fulfills those roles. The host might develop patterns and frameworks that rely on the partner's constant presence, making life without them feel delicate or unfeasible. In these instances, the partnership ceases to be merely an advantageous addition and transforms into an integral aspect of the organism's identity. This explains why specific microbial partners are consistently transmitted through reproduction, as the host cannot risk beginning life without their presence. This explains why certain symbionts reside exclusively within their hosts, akin to a species that has settled into a single home and chosen to remain there indefinitely. The intrigue lies in how reliance transforms one's sense of self. One often envisions evolution fostering autonomy, enhancing physical strength, improving defenses, and promoting greater self-reliance. Yet, symbiosis reveals an alternative route. At times, the most effective approach is to embrace a sense of incompleteness in solitude. For in unity, there lies a strength that surpasses any individual might. Some are casual and take advantage of situations, coming together only when it serves their interests. Not every symbiosis endures as a lasting union. Some resemble fleeting partnerships that emerge when circumstances render them advantageous. A fish might seek refuge close to a stinging neighbor when faced with a predator threat, only to swim away once the peril has subsided. A microbe might inhabit a host for a season, only to diminish as the host's diet shifts. These loose relationships hold unexpected significance as they contribute to a sense of flexibility. When the environment changes, a partnership can emerge swiftly, seizing the moment without the need for prolonged evolutionary adaptation. It may also present a minimal level of risk. Should the partnership cease to provide advantages, the host may release the partner, while the partner has the option to find a new host. This establishes a realm of fleeting deals where closeness turns into a benefit and timing is of utmost importance. The intriguing aspect is that these fleeting partnerships continue to influence ecosystems. They hold the power to determine who endures a challenging year, who discovers sustenance, and who escapes the fate of being preyed upon. Symbiosis does not always imply a lasting bond. At times, it becomes a moment of significance, a swift partnership that enhances the standing of both parties, at least for the moment. Researchers employ the concept of symbiosis to create probiotics and develop tools for sustainable agriculture. Once symbiosis begins to reveal itself in various aspects of life, the allure of intentionally engaging with it becomes undeniable. Researchers explore beneficial microbes to create probiotics, intended to aid in digestive recovery following illness or to achieve certain health outcomes. Although results may differ, and this remains a dynamic field of study. In agriculture, the concepts can become even more concrete. Microbial inoculants assist crops in accessing nutrients, enduring stress, or resisting specific diseases, thereby decreasing dependence on heavy chemical inputs. Certain methods emphasize enhancing the presence of advantageous fungi near the roots. Some strive to foster soil communities that promote enduring fertility. The ground assurance is not a miraculous microbe that resolves all issues. A transformation in perspective emerges, viewing farms and bodies as interconnected ecosystems where relationships can flourish. This endeavor proves to be difficult due to the inherent context dependence of living systems. A microbe that thrives in one type of soil may struggle in another, yet this challenge adds to the thrill of discovery. It is biology as a collaborative endeavor, learning to harmonize with the unseen forces that naturally govern forests and reefs. In the realm of future space farming, the reliance on engineered microbial partners for closed habitats emerges as a pivotal concept. Within the confines of a closed space habitat, every resource holds significant importance. Water needs to be recycled, waste should be transformed, and nutrients must remain in circulation. Microbes are natural experts in recycling, and the future of space farming may rely on them as essential partners in maintaining life support systems. Envision a world where plants thrive alongside meticulously chosen root microbes, enhancing their ability to absorb nutrients, while microbial communities work diligently to transform waste into safe fertilizer, effectively completing the cycle. In the vastness of space, even the slightest inefficiencies can build up, making a meticulously crafted microbial system potentially as crucial as the plants themselves. Additionally, the matter of stability arises. Within a sealed habitat, it is essential to cultivate microbial communities that remain stable and secure, effectively resisting any unwanted blooms that could pose a threat to plants or individuals. The challenge presents itself as both a scientific endeavor and an ecological pursuit. One is not merely cultivating food, one is nurturing a delicate ecosystem. Symbiosis emerges as a strategic instrument for survival beyond Earth, transforming microbes into silent companions that tirelessly recycle, continuously convert, and extend the reach of limited resources. Symbiosis serves as a poignant reminder that life flourishes through connection rather than isolation. As one reflects on the various partnerships, the overarching narrative becomes increasingly evident. Life is not merely a series of isolated beings vying for dominance in their own paths. It is an intricate tapestry of connections, where thriving frequently hinges on collaboration, mutual exchange, and collective problem-solving. A body serves as a habitat, while a forest transforms into a vibrant marketplace of nutrients. An animal, adorned with lotion, can evolve into a dynamic home for various species. Some partnerships are gentle and mutual, while others are tense, conditional, or even dangerous. Yet, the overall pattern remains consistent. Connection fosters possibilities. It enables organisms to achieve feats they could not accomplish alone, from digesting tough foods to surviving harsh environments, and even to constructing ecosystems that sustain countless other lives. The concept of symbiosis transforms one's perspective on individuality. The limits of a creature extend beyond mere skin or shell. They encompass the community it nurtures and the allies upon whom it relies. In this manner, symbiosis presents an unexpectedly reassuring insight. Life endures not solely through power, but through connection. In the serene order of nature, flourishing is frequently an endeavor shared among many. As the gentle journey through symbiosis draws to a close, one can allow the ideas to settle like sand in clear water. In a world where life seldom exists in isolation, small companions residing within coral contribute to the creation of entire reefs. Unseen microbes play a crucial role in shaping digestion, immunity, and even the processes by which ecosystems breathe and recycle. Unlikely teams emerged, from ants and plants engaging in a trade of protection for food, to animals utilizing light chemistry or sharing shelter with other forms of life. The full spectrum of these relationships unfolded, showcasing everything from steadfast cooperation to uneasy bargains that evolve under the pressures of stress and time. Sleep science. Top 1 is where science slows down, so understanding can go deeper. And in search of another serene journey, you may select the next video that awaits you on the screen. If this journey changed how you see life, even slightly, you're welcome to stay with Sleep Science. Top 1. This little corner of curiosity reaches out to more sleepy minds, inviting them to relax. For now, you can loosen your jaw, let your shoulders soften, and allow each breath to arrive a little slower than the last. In and out, easy and unhurried. Somewhere beneath the surface of everything, life is always cooperating, always exchanging, always finding a way to continue. Tonight, there is no need to solve anything at all. You only need to rest and let your mind drift, carried by the quiet thought that connection can be a kind of strength. Thank you for resting with us. The narrative unfolds through an external perspective, enriching its significance. Life rarely survives through isolation. It endures through connection. Beneath forests, within oceans, and inside our own bodies, cooperation is constantly shaping what can live, adapt, and persist. Understanding this changes how we see nature and how we see ourselves. We are not singular beings moving alone through the world. We are living systems, supported by countless unseen relationships. If this journey helped you see life with a little more clarity, you're welcome to stay with Sleep Science, Top 1. Here, science slows down, so understanding can go deeper. For now, let your thoughts settle, let the day fade, and allow rest to do what it has always done best, quietly restore.